Good morning, everybody. Let me pull out my headphones. Boxing has become more and more entertaining. It's more engrossing. We got all kinds of interesting drama going on in boxing. Larry Merchant will talk about the drama and so on. Well, we get drama like crazy in boxing. It's become very entertaining for those plugged into the know. For those who are not plugged into the know, it's not as entertaining. Let's start off with the big names. We start off with Canelo. So, first of all, Concrete Jungle has been unraveling and revealing what has been happening with Canelo and what has been transpiring with Golden Boy and Canelo and why there's a rift between it and what Canelo is seeking to do. So let's start off with that. So first of all, the whole stripping of the IBF belt happened as a result of Golden Boy not doing certain things. And we have to question now the intent of Golden Boy, why they didn't follow up on certain things to allow Canelo to retain his belt. Because as far as is rumored, this is only rumors, Golden Boy had guaranteed to DAZN a third Canelo Triple G fight when Canelo had instructed Golden Boy that he did not want any sort of obligation to have to face Triple G again because he believed that he clearly beat Triple G in the second fight. And he didn't want Triple G to get another payday because he still had an issue with Triple G and he did not like him. It seems as though Golden Boy twice went that. First, initially, before even Canelo had signed the agreement with DAZN, he had instructed Golden Boy that he did not want any second Triple G fight and that should not be made mandatory. And apparently Golden Boy guaranteed DAZN that they would get that. And then when this IBF belt situation came about where Golden Boy needed an extension, they again guaranteed DAZN that they would have a third Triple G fight if they could extend the the agreement to face Derevyanchenko because DAZN actually did not want that matchup with Canelo and Derevyanchenko because they thought that Derevyanchenko was not a name, which is very interesting. Derevyanchenko, strangely enough, was allowed on DAZN to face Danny Jacobs. And what we're hearing rumored, or actually it has been ordered by the IBF, Derevyanchenko is facing Triple G, which leads us to the other point, which is, again, something that really irks Canelo, that DAZN does not want Canelo to face certain opponents, but once Triple G is facing those opponents, all of a sudden DAZN agrees and certifies for Triple G to face these opponents, which irrates Canelo that there's a different standard for him, the cash cow, the pay-per-view star, the pound for pound number two fighter in the world, that he is getting so much problems from the zone to get a matchup, whereas Triple G is allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And I find that really also a discrepancy in standards, and Canelo is actually angry with Golden Boy for this reason. And that's why he does not like Triple G, because Triple G, Canelo asked Triple G to, of course, take up a belt, and then, of course, Triple G is now ordered to face Derevyanchenko to pick up that belt. But the point is that Canelo does not like that Triple G is just basically going via the easy routes, and the opponents that Canelo that DAZN find bad matchups with Canelo, they're giving, we're hearing mention with Triple G, and it seems as though Triple G might get those opponents. In fact, he's ordered by the IBF to face Derevyanchenko. The question is, will DAZN approve it? More than likely they will, which shows me that there's a double standard there. And DAZN, also, of course, working towards that Canelo Triple G fight. And Canelo, of course, does not like that because this is not his wishes. And so apparently Canelo is lawyered up to get out of Golden Boy. And apparently Ryan Garcia, his mentee, is following suit. So that's very interesting as well. And so Canelo seems to be at odds with Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya doesn't seem to be in control of his company. Once again, it seems as though he's on some sort of drug binge. This is all rumors. These are not facts. So on seeing all of this, and listening to Concrete Jungle is giving us the information. It seems apparently that Canelo's going to be buying out his contract with Golden Boy unless Golden Boy can find a way to really ease that tension. But from what I see, everything is lining up for Canelo to face Triple G on the zone at this present point in time. Something that Canelo does not want to happen, actually, which is very interesting. And what is even more interesting is that I don't know if Canelo is going to face Demetrius Andrade. That kind of puts all the talks on hold. It seems as though Canelo may end up actually being in a legal dispute with Golden Boy if this goes any further, and we don't know if Golden Boy will release him. So it's very interesting how this is transpiring, and it kind of can jeopardize any sort of Canelo Demetrius Andrade fight. But if Canelo could face Demetrius Andrade, I agree with Dante's Boxing Nation. I think Demetrius Andrade is the most dangerous opponent for Canelo out there right now in the middleweight division. I think he is the most skilled and the best all-round boxer right now available for Canelo in the middleweight division that he hasn't faced. So that's the fight that I actually wanted to see, and it's kind of in jeopardy of happening now, and for illegal reasons that Canelo has with Golden Boy. I'm not going to excuse Canelo from facing Demetrius Andrade. I think he should still face him. I do not know how. We'll see. I do hope that talks with whatever Canelo has to do to face Demetrius Andrade. I hope that he can do it this year. The Gennady Golovkin Derevyanchenko fight has been scheduled for October. I believe it's the 5th or the 25th of October, one of those dates. And that will be hosted by DAZN, like I said. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So what goes for the goose doesn't go for the gander, apparently, which is really stupid, but this is what is happening. So Triple G will be facing Derevyanchenko for the IBF title. A lot of people have commented on this, that Canelo should have really kept his title. But, there are rules in boxing, and apparently the IBF has repeatedly tried to contact Golden Boy, and they have not responded. So I do believe, based on those pieces of information, of course, the IBF contacting Golden Boy is actual factual information the IBF has actually said. But what I would say is, if the rumors are correct, then, and I'm jumping to the gun here with the rumors. You don't ever make assessments off of rumors here. Make assessments off of facts. Oh, shit. If the rumors are correct, then it means that Golden Boy sabotaged Canelo in order for Triple G to get that IBF title so that Canelo could face Triple G. And that, my friends, is not how a promotional company should deal with a fighter, especially if Canelo's stature in boxing. So I think Canelo has a lot of clout, and I think he's probably looking at a move to get another promoter. And that's just the way how things go. He's lawyered up, and apparently, whatever he's doing, whether it's suing Goyle, whatever he's doing, he's getting ready to make a move. Now, with respect to the Demetrius Andrade fight that is on the cards, hopefully can come up. This is what I got to say about that. I would say that Canelo somehow, some way, needs to get that fight done before the end of the year, and then whatever legal action or whatever thing he wants to do after that with Golden Boy is cool. The problem with it is, does Golden want Canelo to face Demetrius Andrade? I always said Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy seem to be fucking up Canelo's career as of late, not before, but as of late. And apparently this is true. I mean, Oscar is once again fucking up a good thing, and this year he definitely is fucking up Canelo. Okay, I know that Oscar did not want Canelo to face Danny Jacobs. It was Canelo who wanted to face Danny Jacobs, and apparently Canelo got his way with that. If it was up to Oscar, Canelo would never have faced Danny Jacobs. Okay, again, it seems as though Oscar is fucking up the waters, where Canelo probably initially wanted to face Demetrius Andrade from the get-go, and Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya tried to muddy that water. And I think they just try to fuck Canelo over again. If I know anything about Canelo does not run from smoke. Okay, Canelo runs to the smoke. So I found it very weird when Canelo was talking about, Sergey Kovalev and and fucking Jaime Munguia was coming up. Some fucking whack ass names was coming up out of the mix, and I'm like, Canelo don't fight Munguia. Canelo don't do that shit. You know, even the Rocky Fielding fight. I think that's Golden Boy set that shit up. I just feel like Golden Boy is trying to fuck up the guy Canelo, and Canelo's not that kind of fighter. I just know that. Canelo runs to the smoke. You face Floyd Mayweather. Come on, let's think about this. Canelo went and faced Floyd Mayweather. How much more smoke do you need? Okay? How much more smoke do you need? You faced Floyd Mayweather. Afterwards, just look at your career. Okay, you had some stay busy fights, Alfredo Angulo. And even then, Alfredo Angulo was considered, this bad motherfucker. So Canelo went and faced Alfredo Angulo. Okay? Running to the smoke. He only run into smoke. Canelo only runs to smoke. Think about it. He runs to smoke. If you look at his history, oh, he ain't going to face this fighter. Oh, he ain't going to face Danny Jacobs. Oh, he ain't going to face... If it was up to Golden Boy, yeah, he wouldn't have faced Danny Jacobs. If it was up to Golden Boy, yeah, he wouldn't have faced Austin Trout. Austin Trout was at his highest, just got his greatest win. Canelo wouldn't have faced Austin Trout. He faced it. He went to face the smoke. When everybody said he wasn't going to face Erislandy Lara, he went and he faced Erislandy Lara. Let's think about this. Miguel Cotto, lineal champion, middleweight. Okay, he put Miguel Cotto and him collectively agreed 155. Okay, it wasn't a problem for Miguel Cotto. That's more of Miguel Cotto's preferred weight. He went and he faced Miguel Cotto. Okay, they say he wasn't going to face Gennady Golovkin, and Canelo was like, no, I just want to face him on my terms, motherfucker. Right? I want to face him on my terms. When Golovkin and the WBC tried to force Canelo to do something, he said, fuck that. Take your belt. We tried to do negotiations. The negotiations expired, and so the WBC took the belt from him, right? And Canelo was really pissed about that. He went back and he fought Gennady Golovkin. The first time they said it was a draw. Canelo was pissed about that again. He outboxed Gennady Golovkin, clearly. He said, all right, fuck. Let's do the rematch. And he beat his ass comprehensively, right? It wasn't no split decision. It wasn't no close fight. He beat him, right? Let me just go and check box record to make sure I'm correct. I think he beat him unanimously, didn't he? It was supposed to be a unanimous decision. I don't think it was a split decision. Was it a split decision? It was a unanimous decision. Because he beat him. He beat Triple G. He comprehensively beat his ass. And everybody's be talking, up to this day, people talking about the second fight was controversial. How the fuck was it controversial? How? Go look at all your stats. How was it controversial? I don't understand that. And these are the things I just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? He got a higher connect percentage. He landed all the power shots. In terms of jabs, I'm not too sure what the jabs look like. Okay? He pushed Triple G back. Y'all said Mexican style. He give you Mexican style. What else he got to do? What else he got to do? He the smaller guy and he's still beating back this dude. He pushing him back. He walked his ass down for the majority of the fight. He did everything he needed to do, and y'all still saying Triple G outboxed him? Get the fuck out of here. How are you going to outbox somebody and your connect percentage is less than him? Huh? You had a lower connect percentage. The dude be landing all his power shots on your ass, but you outbox him? How the fuck you outbox somebody and they landed more power shots on you? Literally he landed more power shots and threw less punches. How you outbox somebody? Talk to me. All right, round by round. Let's go round by round. Because you can look overall in the fight and somebody maybe had a really good round, so they got a higher round by round. Which rounds did he outbox Canelo in? We got to look at the stats round by round. Because y'all gonna bring up Jose Luis Floyd Mayweather, and I would say, okay, let's go round by round then. The early rounds, who won them? Who dominated? Canelo again. All right, let's look at the middle rounds. Who won those? Canelo again. Let's look at the latter rounds. Okay. You say Gennady Golovkin won a couple of them. Okay. Still finished strong, Canelo. So what are you really saying? And so that's why he angry right now. He's like, I ain't giving him no third fight. I ain't giving him shit. I beat him clear and square. The judges saw that. Why do I need to come back? There's no reason for me to rematch this guy. You do rematches, people. You do rematches when you haven't clearly beaten an opponent. When you have a split decision or majority decision. That's when you go and you have a rematch. He want to clear the air. Show I truly beat this dude. But in public opinion, because we got so much GGG fanboys out here, okay, who are not assessing it based on what's really going on. They're basing it on what they think should go on, because GGG's their man. You know, let's be real. You know, people can have really cokey, or as we say, ridiculous reasoning, because they just decided, they made their choice in their mind and they're going with that choice. And that's what happened with Canelo versus Triple G. They made up their mind Triple G was going to knock Canelo out in the first fight. People was looking for that knockout. So when he didn't give the knockout, he's missing like shit in the first fight. Swinging that air, looking like a real clown. But he won the fight. Doing what? Doing what? All the power punches was Canelo again. All the body punches was Canelo. Triple G couldn't even go to his body. That's what Triple G's supposed to do. He ain't doing that. He ain't doing nothing. But Triple G landed more jabs than Canelo. So what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm trying to help you guys understand. You can out-jab an opponent, but you got to also put power shots behind the jab. The jab sets up the power shots. And we all know, everybody know, Triple G got a hard jab. He got a power jab. Snap your head back. How many times did Canelo's head snap back with a power jab? How many? You could count them on one hand. Because he couldn't land it. Probing jabs are to set up other punches. When Canelo threw a jab, you saw Triple G's head snap back. He didn't throw a lot of jabs, but he did. When he threw one, you saw Triple G's head snap back. My point being, and I continue to make my point, okay? My point being that whether y'all believe in it or you have the popular sentiment, the more effective puncher in that fight was Canelo. Triple G was a harder puncher, but Canelo he wasn't getting hit with no shit. Y'all was talking about, oh, he got hit and he was rolling, he's riding punches. No, motherfucker. A lot of punches Canelo wasn't getting hit with because he was blocking a lot of punches and he was rolling a lot of punches. Obviously, he rode some of the punches too with his head, but most of the time he wasn't getting hit at all. He looked like fucking Floyd in there. Lots of people said it. He looked like Floyd in there. He's standing right in the pocket with Triple G, and Triple G ain't hitting him with shit. He not hitting him with shit. Now, to Triple G's credit, he rode some of Canelo's punches too, but a lot of those body punches were sound punches. Triple G wasn't getting blocked. He wasn't blocking that shit. He just tough. I remember Canelo hit him such a punch. That was in the first fight. He lifted Triple G off the ground. He lifted that motherfucker off the ground. I remember also in I think it was the 8th or 9th round when he caught him with a shot to the head and Triple G rocked to the side. And they say he was off balance. No, motherfucker. He hit him with such power while Triple G was throwing a punch that Triple G got knocked to the side. That's what the hell happened. Now, you can say Canelo was on the juice. I can't dispute you with that. I don't know if he was on the juice, okay? But one of the things I can tell you is that Canelo handled Triple G. Nobody handled Triple G like that before. So Triple G missing so much. Danny Jacobs had a fight with Triple G. Triple G still landed some punches on Danny Jacobs, even though he didn't land that many punches on Danny Jacobs either. Okay? If he could have landed his punches like he wanted to on Danny Jacobs would be knocked down and out. He'd have knocked out Danny Jacobs. You saw him knock Danny Jacobs down. He got that power. Okay? And Danny Jacobs, according to everybody, is a big middleweight. He is a big middleweight. Okay? And what Canelo did to Danny Jacobs was better than what Triple G did to Danny Jacobs. Because Danny Jacobs, they had a life and death battle, Danny Jacobs and Triple G. Even though Danny Jacobs wasn't getting that much punishment. All right, it was life and death battle. You know. Canelo, on the other hand, was an exciting fight. Even the first one, he put a boxing clinic on Triple G. You know, and y'all need to know when you talk about jabbing, you need to know what kind of jab, because y'all don't know shit, man. You have to talk about a touch jab. They say it's a scoring jab. Okay, a touch jab. Now the thing about it is, some of these people be scoring jabs that didn't land. They're scoring jabs that didn't land. He was touch jabbing Canelo. And feinting a jab is not jabbing. They're counting all these jabs that got Triple G through. If you feint a jab, you didn't throw a jab. So you can't count feinting a jab. It's all this shit, man. Like, it's boxing, man. You guys got to know you're boxing. You know what I'm saying? You feint a jab. You feint a jab, you're feinting a jab. You're not throwing the jab. You can't count that as a jab. If I do like this and I do so, right? That's a feint. That's not I didn't throw the jab. I didn't extend my hand and throw the jab, so you can't count that. And Triple G be feinting, then he throw it. And it's a pouring jab, what we call a probing jab. He trying to find range. And Canelo, just like with Manny Pacquiao, he got a 2-guard up like this. Let me show you. Let me put this phone down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So Triple G be doing like this. Okay. Now Canelo, he got his guard up here, and just like Pacquiao, he counterpuncher. He be doing like this, putting his head up. He do this. See, when he's doing this, he's saying, "Hey, hit me on this spot. Hit me on this spot." Sometimes he put the head so you could touch it a little bit, so you feel like you getting somewhere. All right, all of that just for a counterpunch. So when Triple G decided to load up and hook, Canelo just waiting, recoil, and like that, like Jean Pascal, he just said, he do like this, ha, and he come up the center, ha, hit you with the counterpunch. That's what Jean Pascal did. You know, my boy came in, Jean Pascal did like this, he said it, he recoiled, he catching it in, when he come with the hook here, he catch it down here. See, he catch the hook. Show you. He catch the hook down here. So catch it, and then catch and shoot. Catch and shoot. So I catch you. You come here. You come in here. I'm here. See, catch and shoot. Okay. That's what's up. And so that's what he did with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? That's what Canelo do with Triple G all night. All night he be doing that shit. All night he be doing the same thing. Counterpuncher. All right? Counterpuncher. Waiting for you to offload your power shots. I mean, Triple G trying to work on defense with Jonathan Banks. Why do you think he's trying to work on defense? He get hit too damn much. All right, and that's not cool in boxing. I was watching that Fair But Firm with Joe Cortez, and they were talking about the Konaki fight with Areola, and they made a very important point. Konaki, where the fuck is your defense? Where the fuck you ain't gonna last long in boxing. You might end up just like Donaire. The shit you be doing, his coach talk about, he got some defense and stuff. Your work rate's great, but, you cannot be doing this in the sport of boxing. You cannot be going out there and you not, I hope I'm live. I'm not seeing any responses, and I'm wondering why. Yeah, you can't be going out there and taking all that punishment. You can't. If they say he could box a bit, I ain't seen the evidence in the Areola fight at all. He getting hit with shots he shouldn't be hit with. And when he uses jab to space out, he do a little bit better. But jab is not all to defense. You know what I'm saying? The jab is not all to defense. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I'm just talking to you guys about that's going off topic a little bit. Getting back to what we were talking about, which is Canelo. That's what's happening with Golden Boy and Canelo, apparently based on rumors. This is rumors, folks. So don't take it with a grain of salt. We'll see if there's confirmation to those rumors. So if that's the case, I understand why Canelo would want to get out of Golden Boy, unless Golden Boy sort out their shit and really start doing what he says he wants them to do. And the other thing is he already has his own promotional company. When you look at this fight with Demetrius Andrade is still kind of up in the air. I'm hoping that this fight will still come off somehow, some way. Hopefully the IBF title, the title shot, they got Gennady Golovkin got 30 days to make the fight happen. I think they can get 5 days extension or something like that with the IBF. If you want to face Derevyanchenko, again, they have some history together. Derevyanchenko's beaten Triple G in the amateurs, so that would be a good fight matchup for Triple G. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even though he's getting Canelo's leftovers, now that Canelo faced Derevyanchenko, but he had the opportunity first to face Derevyanchenko. But I want to see if Canelo will fight at the end of this year. I think he should. I hope he does. I want him to face Demetrius Andrade. That's the fight I think that is necessary. They say they're in negotiated talks, but then we hear Eddie Hearn come out and say if Canelo faces Demetrius Andrade, don't sound like Dante Boxing Nation be saying that don't sound too good. But we are hoping and praying Canelo will face Demetrius Andrade. So that's my hope. I think he should face Demetrius Andrade this year and call it a day. Because here's what you have done, Canelo. This is for Canelo. Somebody just came on. Good. Shout out. Don't forget to smash that like button. If Canelo beats Demetrius Andrade, then he becomes, in my opinion, he is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. There's nobody can question him. Let me tell you why. He would have beaten Miguel Cotto, who was the lineal champion. Get that out of the way. He would have beaten Gennady Golovkin, who was the WBA and IBF champion at the time. Okay? He lost the IBF belt because he didn't face Derevyanchenko. Then he would have beaten Danny Jacobs, who beat Derevyanchenko to get the IBF title. That's 3 belts. And the 4th belt, whether he stripped or not, he won those belts. Okay, they had to take it from him. Okay, he would have beaten Demetrius Andrade, who is the WBO title. That means not only would he have hold the 4 belts, but more importantly than the belts, because EJ Boxing Live talks about how he doesn't value belts that much. He looks at the fights and the top tier guys in the division. All right. Now he wouldn't have defended one of them belts against Derevyanchenko. But think about it. Which one you prefer? Him facing Derevyanchenko, who is just a contender, or him facing the belt holder to become undisputed, which would have been Demetrius Andrade. And he's not just a belt holder, he's a real champion because he defended his belt multiple times. So no matter how you slice it or dice it, if you're talking about legacy, Canelo would have faced all the top tier guys. Now people keep on talking about Jamal Charlo, and I'm making excuses for Charlo and blah 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 blah. Here's the thing. He shouldn't have faced Charlo, and he shouldn't. Listen to me. I don't care if he faces Charlo. If he faces Jamal Charlo, cool. But in terms of legacy and in terms of, to me, the more important matchup, if you ask me, should he face Demetrius Andrade or Jamal Charlo, I'm going to tell you just like that, damn ninja Demetrius fucking Andrade. Okay? Because you're going to make history with that. You remember, it's not just Jamal Charlo in a void. If it was just him facing Jamal Charlo, hell yeah. Face Jamal Charlo. And Jamal Charlo was his mandatory. He inherited it when he beat Triple G. Charlo was Triple G's mandatory. And then when he beat Triple G, Charlo became his mandatory. Alright? But what did he do? After he faced fucking Triple G, he didn't go on to defend his title against Jamal Charlo. He went up and faced Rocky Fielding, which I thought was okay. All right, I don't know what the point is. A paper championship, whatever. All right, maybe you could argue you're gonna face Jamal Charlo then. All right, you can make that case. I can't argue with you. All right, but then here's the thing though. He faced Rocky Fielding, then he came back and faced Danny Jacobs. Now, let me ask you. I'm just going to ask you. Danny Jacobs or Jamal Charlo? Which one you prefer? He faced Danny Jacobs or Jamal Charlo. Just imagine. He faces Jamal Charlo, a young, strong, in his prime, skilled opponent who's not a world champion. Hasn't faced top names in middleweight. They would have said he ducked Danny Jacobs. Come on now, and if you like what you're seeing, smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. Smash that like button. I'm not just talking to the void, y'all. Trying to make some money. I am definitely. I'm trying. I'm an honest dude. I'm trying to make money, but obviously, I'm not gonna compromise what I believe just because I'm trying to make money. Fuck that. Thank you very much for smashing that like button. Thank you. Yes. And I hope you guys can make your comments. Please feel free to talk. I'm an opinionated dude, but that does not mean that if you make a point that is correct, I will not agree with you. Or even say, you know what, that's a point you made, even though I don't agree with you. I'm going to let you know. It's an argument. It's a debate. Engage. Just because I seem to be all, this is the law. It's not the law. I can be wrong, like Donkey Kong. So feel free to engage me. I'm just going to give you my arguments, and then afterwards, So I'm a fight fan just like you guys. I do box, and I'm trying to get into professional boxing. I gotta watch my ass, but at the same time, I'm a fight fan just like you guys. So, and going back on, I'm just making my argument. I'm making my case. If you have a better case, please bring it. We are here to debate. Yeah. So, as I said before, when I look at Danny Jacobs, right? You cannot dispute that. If everybody was saying Canelo going to duck Danny Jacobs. Everybody was saying Canelo was going to duck Danny Jacobs. And what happened is, hold on a second, let me just make sure that's not me. Okay. Yo, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. I probably do that too. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, back to what I was saying. So, back to it, man. Shout out to, I guess I know who this is. Let me see if I got the right person here. Is this the viewer who is right now watching this? It's got to be Jackson the Hopeful, or Jackson the Hope. I feel it's you. May be wrong. Hey, shout out to you just in case it is you. Hey man, we got to get you on one of these streams, man. I don't care. You can just sit there and say nothing, but we need to get you on one of the streams. Yeah, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, you would not, because they were already saying that he was ducking. He was ducking decorated, Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs decorated. Danny Jacobs finished fighting Triple G. Okay, he had knocked out Peter Quillen. He showed he was a hell of a boxer. So, Canelo fought Triple G twice. He had to fight Triple G twice to win against him. People argue that Danny Jacobs beat Triple G the first time. So, I'm just saying that if he had ducked Danny Jacobs and faced Jamal Charlo, you know how they would have gone in on his ass. Mr. Hulk 33. Besides, Boo Boo, I would have loved to see him face Callum Smith at 168. I hear you, man. Look. You actually are 125% correct there. All right, shout out to you, by the way. I would love to see him face Callum Smith. You making good fights, because we don't want to see him. Rocky Fielding was okay. He accomplished something with his life. But Rocky Fielding, all right, I'm not going to disrespect Rocky Fielding, but I mean, what did Canelo do by beating Rocky Fielding? He got a belt, yeah. He kind of made history, kind of. But he didn't really do nothing. That was a stay busy fight, right? Rocky Fielding ain't got no defense. He got hit with a liver shot. You're supposed to get hit with liver shots like that. You know, Canelo's free reign landed into Rocky Fielding's body, took him out of the game, right? That was a gimme. You know, when Canelo faced Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., remember, Canelo, it's not the first time Canelo been at the 168 division. He was at the 168 division against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It was 164, was a catch weight, but nonetheless, he was up in that division, right? So it's not like he, you know, he fought a name, actually, an actual name at 168. It was a catch weight, but he still fought a name, which is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who got a history of being, has a remarkable middleweight career, okay? So basically fought a blown-up middleweight is what you're saying. I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. probably had difficulty making 164 on the scales and blew back up to about 175, 180, whatever he is, 190, whatever he is on fight night. But I'm just saying that, you know, he had already faced a name at 168. Now he goes and faces Rocky Fielding. I guess it was just to kind of, you know what, one of the things I give Canelo credit for, he always got a little challenge in his stuff. It's not like that fuck-ass fight that Tyson Fury's about to face with Otto Wallin. And I might be being hard on Otto Wallin, but let me tell you why I'm hard on Otto Wallin. Yeah, I heard he beat Tyson Fury in the amateurs or whatever. That motherfucker, we don't know you, first of all. We don't know you. What's the challenge to Tyson Fury? None. You have no sort of advantage against Tyson Fury, and you never had no fucking experience at the top tier level at all. Like, what the fuck are we having? Why are we having this fight? You know what I'm saying? Now, at least credit Canelo with one thing. He put some challenge in there. It is a technical challenge because it ain't no fucking challenge. But nonetheless, at least he went up in a weight class, fought a guy with a paper championship belt, you know, titleist. And it was a weight class that he never been in a lot. He never been in the full-fledged weight class. Rocky Fielding wanted to see how he hang with that big, strong guy. You could say, okay, that's a preparatory for Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs, big middleweight, came back down, faced Danny Jacobs. All right, cool. But at the end of the day, a Callum Smith versus Canelo fight is definitely a legit fight. If Canelo would have beat Callum Smith, that would mean a lot. It would mean a lot because Callum Smith is in his prime. He's a skilled young fighter. He ain't got a whole lot of experience, but he's a skilled young fighter, okay? So if Canelo was to beat Callum Smith, that would be something, right? Beating Rocky Fielding didn't mean nothing. And, I mean, he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I got to give him credit for that, even though it was at a catch weight, because Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a name, and he was a big dude. He went all the way up to light heavyweight. So, you know, that you got to give Canelo credit, because what it showed me is that Canelo has so much skill and power. You backing up a much bigger dude. Now the guy could have been weight drained. He could have. I mean, we got to argue that he could have been weight drained. We could, you know, that's an argument. But at the end of the day, he fought a bigger Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a much bigger guy than him, who had been at these higher weight classes, and he was backing the dude up. He was walking the dude down. That's big. Walking down Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You don't do that. Nobody walks down Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Not even the Polish kid that he faced. Chavez Jr. was walking that dude down, right? So it was very impressive to see that. People said Chavez Jr. didn't come to fight, blah, 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 blah. And Chavez Jr. was trying to box Canelo. Listen, man, y'all need to understand. Chavez Jr. could not do anything else but box Canelo. He was walking him down. Chavez Jr. tried to bring the heat on Canelo. Canelo got that defense, and then he walked his ass down. Once his tank was a little bit burned out from throwing punches, he walked his ass down. Okay, it went 12 rounds, but he walked his ass down. Chavez Jr. at a certain point was just being very defensive, so he wouldn't get knocked out. He wouldn't get stopped. And you know, I'm just saying this not because I'm a Canelo fan again. Just watch the fight. All right, you can say that Chavez Jr. was weight drained, but usually when somebody's weight drained, it's in the latter rounds that they fade. It's in the latter rounds that they fade. You still got energy in the initial part of a fight. Okay? Shout out to whoever else just came on this feed. Let's keep it talking though, because my boy was talking about something. I want to just make one more point though. But Mr. Hulk 333 says, shout out to Mr. Hulk 333. But he did what GGG never did in his whole career, and actually fought somebody at a different weight class. My question to you is, why can't GGG do the same? Look, man, what you just said there, brother, says volumes about fakeness and realness. Abel Sanchez said all kinds of shit about GGG. Hey, he could fight from 154 to 175, right? Talk is cheap. And what most fans have a problem with boxers is when they talk up all this talk and they don't back shit up. Right? Keith Thurman, if he did not open his mouth and say what he said, people would have never felt disappointed. They would have said he fought his heart out. You know, even though people thought that Keith Thurman might have beaten Triple G, beaten Manny Pacquiao, and I was one of them, we would have given him. They would have given him so much more leeway. I believe most people believe that Pacquiao won by unanimous decision. They feel that he dominated Keith Thurman. I don't believe that. I believe Keith Thurman beat him, but there was two marquee points in that fight, and that set the tone for the fight. And Pacquiao got out. He's like a sprinter. He got out really fast, and Keith Thurman was playing catch up. Okay, Pacquiao dropping Keith Thurman and that body shot. They were deciders for people watching the fight, right? Because what it showed was the guy who was more effective in the power of his punches was Pacquiao. He was troubling Keith Thurman more than Keith Thurman was troubling him, right? Or at least it appeared that way. And so Keith Thurman took round 6 to 9. Keith Thurman took round 4 or 5. I can't remember which one. I think it was 4. He took 6 to 9, and I thought he took 11 and 12. But because Pacquiao did those two key things, and mind you, Pacquiao was firing back through all those other rounds. He had his moments in all of those rounds, right? He was responding to Keith Thurman most of the time, but you can see Keith Thurman was the guy that was landing more of the shots, the harder shots, and Keith Thurman was just pushing back Pacquiao now, right? Keith Thurman now was grinding for that knockout because Keith Thurman knew after the 10th round he needed a knockout to win, so he was pressing for it, but he couldn't get it because he knew what Pacquiao did to him in the 10th round. Everybody gonna remember that. That was a memorable round because Keith Thurman was basically running from Pacquiao, right? He was literally scurrying around the ring trying not to get hit that same place again. So, and people actually believe Pacquiao would have stopped him in the 10th. That's what people believe. That was the impression that was given. You know, so at the end of the day, no matter if Keith Thurman won the 11th and 12th rounds, which I believe he did, people was going to give the 11th and 12th to Pacquiao. They were just going to give it, right? Actually, Keith Thurman landed the last punch in the fight. Pacquiao also looked fresher. Pacquiao looked like he could just keep going, right? My point being, if Keith Thurman hadn't talked the talk he talked, ain't nobody would have been mad at him. In fact, people would have seen the fight even closer. They'd have seen it closer. He talked so much fucking smack. Oh, I'm gonna end Pacquiao's career. Well, it looked like he end your career. What are you gonna say now? Now they may have a rematch, so we'll see what happens with that. Because that's a good follow up. You know, a rematch with Keith Thurman. It was close, split decision. You know, clear the air by having a rematch. That would be a good thing for Pacquiao to do. And you know, we'll see how that goes again. Run it back, as they say. Instead of probably facing an Errol Spence or Sean Porter winner immediately after, probably running back. But you never know. If Pacquiao won that smoke, if Sean Porter beats Errol Spence or Errol Spence beats Porter, but it's a very competitive fight, which I think it will be, Pacquiao might say, you know what, I want the winner. Because, you know, they had a grind out fight. Let me get a winner. And he might just go in there. And if he beat one of them guys, yo, he already made history with Keith Thurman. We were talking about that Pacquiao thing, but let's get back to what we're saying. So some of these guys talk so much. You know, Triple G talks so much. You know, Hulk 333. He talks so damn much, or at least his trainer talks so damn much. Abel Sanchez, who's now fired. He fired his trainer. Fired his ass. You know, you got Jonathan Banks, who's much more conservative. You know, he talks so damn much, and they did nothing. They didn't do shit. Okay, they were talking about getting all the belts. Triple G, this is the thing that gets Canelo under his skin, right? We're talking about it in depth. You guys can add to this discussion, by the way. Triple G said, I want all the belts. And he literally grabbed the WBC belt. He said Canelo was ducking him. He don't want to face him. Took the WBC belt without fighting anybody for it. Now, once again, Canelo loses his belt and fucking Triple G is in there like a scavenger to collect that belt. So Canelo don't like Triple G. He don't like him. He don't like that he's a fucking fake ass motherfucker. All right, y'all talking about he being an all-time great. He's a fake ass motherfucker, and Canelo exposed his ass in the first fight. You a killer and all of that. You a fucking monster, but you can't knock me out. You can't touch me, motherfucker. You can't even touch me. I'll box your ass. You can't even touch me, and I'll be tagging your ass up like a tattoo. I tagged your ass up, and you couldn't even touch me. All right. Second fight, he said, "Okay, come bring it, motherfucker. We're gonna do Mexican style. I'm going to walk your ass down." And he walked his ass out for 12 rounds. He didn't take a fucking step back. Okay? Walked his ass down. And then after all of that, people talking about Triple G won that fight and Canelo did better. Canelo was like, fuck, I got to knock this motherfucker out. I got to do a Juan Manuel Marquez on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because Triple G, like Manny Pacquiao, can do no fucking wrong. People always have excuses for this motherfucker. Right? This motherfucker just fought Steve Rawls. Canelo getting flack for facing Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding, an actual champion. This motherfucker fought a nobody, and Steve Rawls, oh, a great performance by Triple G. Getting tagged up in the second round. But, oh, he got a great performance, but got a great defense by Triple G. Canelo don't like this motherfucker. He fake as fuck. As far as Canelo is concerned. I'm just giving you Canelo's perspective. This motherfucker fake. This is a fake hero that y'all manufactured. A fake motherfucking hero. I face all-time motherfucking greats. I face all these tough guys, but I'm afraid of Triple G. I face Floyd Mayweather, Austin Trout. I always run to the fire. I always run to the fucking flame. I faced Floyd Mayweather. I faced Austin fucking Trout. I faced Erislandy Lara. I faced Miguel fucking Cotto, who I always wanted to face. You know, then after that, I faced Triple G twice, and then I faced Danny Jacobs, but I'm afraid to have a third fight with Triple G. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Canelo don't want to hear that shit. He don't want to hear that shit. And I am with him. That's his perspective. You know, now, guess what? Canelo got to face the best available fucking middleweight in the division, which is Demetrius Andrade. And you know, there's still got motherfuckers out there trying to compare Canelo to Triple G, talking about how he afraid to face Demetrius Andrade. He ain't gonna face Demetrius Andrade. What the fuck? How you gonna compare Canelo with Triple G? You know what I'm saying, folks? How you gonna compare Canelo to the motherfucker? Been running to the fire all the time. What has Triple G been doing? Ducking people. Andre Ward, he said, oh, Abel Sanchez opened his big ass mouth and said, oh, yeah, Andre Ward could get it. Andre would say, hey, here I am. Triple G says, fuck that. I'm trying to unify the belts in the middleweight division. Right? When Erislandy Lara came up and said, Punk, wait your turn. He was like, Punk, face me. Canelo get pissed. He said, okay, motherfucker, let's do it. And he did it. He did it. Y'all was questioning Canelo facing Triple G back in the day when he lost his belt. Okay? Y'all was questioning that motherfucker. Yeah, we had Canelo weight, 155. Everything was 155. We had Canelo weight. I remember that shit. But be real. Canelo is not run or duck and dodge nobody. That's why I expect him to face Demetrius Andrade. I expect him to face him at middleweight. I expect him to face him next. He got next. Because of the history of this motherfucker. This motherfucker don't run from nobody. He don't duck and dodge nobody. He gonna face him. He is going to face Demetrius. That's why I believe. I don't know how it's going to happen because of this bullshit with Golden Boy. But at the end of the day, the only person keeping Canelo from getting the fights he want to fight is Oscar De La Hoya. I feel Oscar De La Hoya was trying to protect his fighter. And Canelo's like, fuck you. Listen, man. You had a career where you faced everybody. So don't come with that shit. I'm going to have a career where I face everybody. Okay? I ain't ducking and dodging no motherfucker. And I believe he going to face Demetrius Andrade next. I tell you, Demetrius Andrade got it next. The fans want it. Canelo going to do it. Demetrius Andrade got next. Okay? Whether win or lose or draw, he going to face his ass. That's what I guarantee you. That's the kind of guy Canelo is. And it's sad because, I watch some of the black channels on the LDBC. Some of them, not all of them. They got a lot of black channels on the LDBC. Got respect for Canelo. Canelo should be respected. This motherfucker don't got to do shit. Like my boy Get the Smoke said, he already got a Hall of Fame career. Okay? But I ain't going to let... I know Canelo. Canelo is not a guy like what you... And his fans need to be like him. All right? You need to push Canelo on and say, motherfucker, go face Demetrius Andrade. That's the man you got to face. And Canelo will be like, motherfucker, that's what you want? I'm bring it. Because he's not afraid of nobody. He's not afraid of nobody. And Demetrius Andrade is at that point now where he has positioned himself perfectly for that fight. There's no excuses. You can't say nothing. The man is positioned for that fight. Unfortunately for Jamal Charlo, he got the same belt as Canelo got. So it's a redundancy. If Canelo said at the beginning of the year, I'm going to be undisputed at the end of the year, Jamal Charlo does nothing for that. But Demetrius Andrade, whether y'all guys like it or not, when he faces Demetrius Andrade, he will be undisputed. And a belt don't make somebody undisputed. It's the guys he faces that make him undisputed. He will be the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. Now, what he does after that is up to him. If I was him, they trying to line it up for the Triple G fight. You know what I do? I say, fuck y'all, and I'm going to face Jamal Charlo next. Just to get in y'all face. Say, Triple G's old news. Fuck him. I'm going to face Jamal Charlo next. That's what I do. In other words, I'm trying to show you Canelo he's not a breed like them other guys. He's not like those. Don't compare him to Triple G. Fuck Triple G. Okay? In every single way, Canelo is better than Triple G. Every single fucking way. Defense-wise. Offensively-wise. All right? Okay? Resume-wise. Okay? Attitude-wise, he a different fucking breed. Just because he got beaten comprehensively by Floyd Mayweather doesn't mean that man ain't a 100-pound gorilla. That's a gorilla you watching. All right? Canelo killed a guy in sparring. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? This motherfucker killed his sparring partner. He didn't want to kill him, but he ended up killing him. And the guy who he killed was a one-time world champion at lightweight. Not lightweight, super featherweight, I think it was. Super featherweight. A motherfucker could box. Okay? Do you understand what kind of person you're talking about? When you talk about Canelo, he's not like the others. There's a reason why this motherfucker, right, is pound for pound number 2 in the world and cash cow. There's a reason. Oscar picked a good... Oscar can't hold on to his fighters, man. You be fucking up your fighters, man. Either you're not watching what your company's doing or you fucking up your fighters. Why you double cross the motherfucker? The motherfucker said, I don't want a third Triple G fight. What you doing guaranteeing a third Triple G fight? If that is the truth, it's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. What the fuck you doing, man? You got to honor your fighter. Especially a fighter like Canelo. He don't need you. You need him at this point. He don't need you. Anyways, I saw this in Canelo a long time ago. That's why when I'm talking about him, I'm a fan of him for that reason. I saw what his constitution was. Ain't no young fighter out in boxing, all right, who after he put himself in a really good position was calling out Floyd Mayweather like that. Erislandy Lara was one of them. Erislandy Lara was calling out Floyd relentlessly after the fact that Floyd had gotten the Marcus Maidana fight, but nonetheless, relentlessly. And Canelo was the other one. Was calling out Floyd. He was like, let's make it. At first, I don't know if I swallowed a fucking fly. It's crazy. I think I swallowed something. At first, anyway, you gotta excuse me. At first, Canelo said, let's make the fight at 150. This is when I think he was facing Kermit Cintron or one of them. All right, this is before the shit. This is for the Austin trial fight. Okay? Shit, that fucked me up bad. Yeah. Really fucked me up bad. Anyways, I think I swallowed a fly. That fucking fly that was buzzing around just went in. You guys can laugh at that. That's funny. Damn it. Right. Yeah. Stupid ass fly. Going back to what I said. Yeah. Yeah. It also disturbed my stomach because now I'm digesting shit. Fucking fly. It's fucking me up. Fucking fly. Back to what we were saying. We're gonna finish this fucking video. Sorry about the F-bombs. So anyways, all I'm saying is, yeah, Canelo's the real deal. He went up to 160 at 154. He became world champion at world 54. He became unified world champion at 154. He went back to 154, became world champion again. You gotta understand, Canelo he could be 4-time world champion at 154 because first Arislan Dilar said, fuck the WBA belt, I don't need that. And he beat Arislan Dilar as well. So he could have been 4-time world champion at 154. He's 3-time world champion for Liam Smith, Austin Trout, and I can't remember. I think he fought and for a vacant world title, WBC vacant world title. I guess was it against Hatton or was it against Endu? I can't remember. Right? 3-time world champion at 154, 3-time motherfucking world champion at 160, 1-time world champion at 168. That motherfucker got 7 belts. He got 7 world titles in 3 weight classes. Fought 3 Hall of Famers: Sugar Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, and Miguel Cotto. And arguably 3 all-time greats. Only one beat him. Think about that shit. If you put Triple G as an all-time great or a short Hall of Famer, that's 4. That shit is just crazy. Just thinking about that shit is crazy. We don't know how many other Hall of Famers he will. Some of these guys may have Hall of Fame careers by the time they're done. So, shit, the numbers can go up. So Canelo is doing some shit, and he ain't done. This motherfucker ain't done. His career's not over. I hear Get the Smoke say he looked like he fading. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just getting better, in my opinion. His performance against Danny Jacobs was better than his performance against Triple G. This motherfucker getting better. I don't know what he's talking about, right? It's like they say Pacquiao ain't getting better, and then he does this Keith Thurman performance. Pacquiao's getting better because now he's refined his craft. He knows what angles. He's shortening up his shots. He don't use as much energy as he did before. His footwork is more precise. He getting better. And being a veteran, he knows how to conserve his energy, how to fight, within himself. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So, with Canelo, as your point, Hulk 333 is, and shout out to you, Canelo has almost done everything. They were talking about the Sergey Kovalev fight at 175. Demetrius Bivol was talking about fighting him at 168. He'd be a 175 pounder. I'm sure Canelo wants to go all the way up to 175. 154 to 175 is probably what Canelo's going to do by the time he taps out his career. But this motherfucker want all the smoke, man. All the smoke. So I'm really looking forward to him facing Demetrius Andrade next, because that's the next. That's what the fans seem to be saying. So that's Demetrius Andrade got next. He got next, and I hope that fight comes off. I don't know what's going to be with Golden Boy or not. I'm hoping that regardless that Canelo has that last fight this year. However it comes off, let it be. Canelo could try to trade it off with Golden Boy or something. I don't know what they're going to work out, but I hope they work out their shit. And Canelo faces Demetrius Andrade next, and I hope DAZN approves that fight because that's a hell of a fight. That's a competitive fight. Demetrius Andrews has never lost in his career. He got all the skill in the world. He's southpaw. I mean, I ranked Danny Jacobs over him because of resume, and Danny Jacobs can do a little bit more. Danny Jacobs can switch hit. He can, I find that Danny Jacobs he demonstrates more. He can fight on the inside, he can fight on the outside, he can fight at mid range. I think Danny Jacobs is also more of a durable fighter. I mean, I've seen Demetrius Andrews get dropped too. I think Demetrius Andrews is sharper than Danny Jacobs. I think, like Danny Jacobs does the same thing, change levels, all that stuff. Danny Jacobs do all of it. I think that Demetrius Andrews is a little bit sharper, a little bit faster. But I know that Demetrius Andrews' speed fades as the fight goes on. But Demetrius Andrews can do it all as well. He fight from the center of the ring, fight going backwards, circling you. He can do it all. There are things that he lacks, though. I'm not going to say what they are. But I think Canelo will exploit those things that he lacks. So anyway, that's the fight, though, I want to see. And I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it before this year's over. I think the fans want that fight. Canelo wants to make sure he does things that please the fans. So I think that's the fight that's going to happen. All right, let's move on to some other things. So I talked about Pacman. So Max Kellerman was making a case for Manny Pacquiao being the greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Or the greatest ever. And I've always said that of this era, I think Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of this era. And I think that Floyd Mayweather is the best of this era. Period. Okay? I think Pacquiao is going to get fighter of the decade for this decade. I think so. All right. I think that Manny Pacquiao. Shout out to those people who also hit the like button. Thank you. I think Manny Pacquiao has also been a fighter who has consistently, year after year, since 1995, fought. Okay? I think that Manny Pacquiao going through 8 divisions is impressive. It's very impressive. And if you count the champions in the divisions in which he beat the man, the champion of the division, and or the divisions in which he beat a world champion, that's 8 divisions he's beat world champions in. All right. Ricky Hatton, was stripped of his championship title at super lightweight or junior middleweight. And so Ricky Hatton was really was the man and the champion there. And Pacquiao beat him. And of course, Marco Antonio Barrera, who was supposed to be the WBC world champion, but was stripped of his title as well. He beat him. So in 8 divisions, he has faced 8 world champions in 8 divisions. And he beat them. I can't say he's an 8 divisional world champion. That's stupid to say, because 2 of the divisions he did not fight for world titles. The Ring Magazine is not title, or leading a championship is not a world title, recognized as a world title, at least by the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So you can't call that a world title. A world title would be one that counts towards being an undisputed world champion according to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Something Canelo has done. He's gotten the IBF, he's gotten the WBA, he's got the WBC, he got a strip of the IBF, but, you could technically say Manny Pacquiao fought for the WBC championship against Marco Antonio Barrera, as well as you could say he fought for the WBA, WBC title against Ricky Hatton, because they were stripped, but technically. And not really, because the belts went on the line. But Canelo actually had those belts, and then he was stripped. So you kind of have to look at it a little bit differently. I think, who was it? EJ Boxing Live was talking to me about Floyd Mayweather having all the belts as well. I look at that and I say it's not quite the same thing as Canelo. Let me tell you why. So Floyd Mayweather did win all those belts, and then after that, because he went into retirement, he had to surrender them. So, technically speaking, again, he had all four belts. Because he won all four belts, right? So I get where you're coming from, but I think that you're gonna have to have a time span. Let me give an example of what I mean. Because remember, as time goes along, there are other top guys who become world champions. So you can't really say you're at the top of the division because you faced a certain crop of champions. For example, Carlos Baldomir was the dude at 147 and Zab Judah, right? Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah and so on, right? Floyd faced Zab Judah, beat Zab Judah to get the IBF world title, and then he beat Carlos Baldomir to get had the WBC world title. Was it the IBF or the WBA? I think Zab Judah was stripped of the WBA, right? So technically speaking, Floyd would have been undisputed world champion back then in 2006 because the WBO didn't come on stream until I think it was 2007, 2008. So technically speaking, Floyd was at that time the undisputed world champion. Technically, because now it's not really technically because he did it. Because if you say he's technically that, then Manny Pacquiao is technically an 8 divisional world champion. He never got the belts. Canelo got the belts. He actually got the WBC. He got the WBA. He got the IBF. He was stripped of the IBF, but he had it. See what I'm saying? And then if he fights Demetrius Andrade for the WBO, he would have the WBO as well, which means that Canelo will then have been undisputed because at that time, in that particular era, in that particular segment of time, he had actually faced all the top guys. You got it? That's the point. All right, let's look at Floyd Mayweather. So Floyd Mayweather, he faced all the top guys. He faced Carlos Baldomir. He faced Zab Judah. Those were the top guys at the time. Okay? The problem with that is he got the IBF belt, he got the WBC belt, but he didn't get the WBA belt. Now, he is undisputed because he faced the top 2 guys who had all the belts. So he is technically he's undisputed. Technically. Because you can't dispute it because he faced the top guys, right? But the problem with it is one of the belts was missing. And that belt, which was really taken from Zab Judah, which really was Carlos Baldomir belt, but Carlos Baldomir didn't want to pay the sanctioning fees, went on to somebody else. And I think the person who collected that belt, if I'm not mistaken, was Louis Collazo. Could Floyd have beaten Louis Collazo? Hell yeah. But he didn't face him, right? So Louis Collazo got that belt. And then after Louis Collazo got the belt, Ricky Hatton got the belt. Okay? And after Ricky Hatton got the belt, he gave up the belt and Miguel Cotto got the belt. That's how it went. Anyway, back to what we were saying. So my point being, Canelo's situation is different than Floyd's. Canelo actually has the belts, right? If he wins the WBO belt, he would have gotten all the belts. But not only that, he'd have faced all the top guys at that particular era of time. So you could say that Manny Pacquiao, for example, was the dude at 126 at featherweight because he beat Marco Antonio Barrera, who had the WBC belt. You know what I'm saying? You can't call him undisputed because Marco Antonio Barrera didn't have all the belts. But when we're talking about undisputed, really it's already defined by the International Boxing Hall of Fame and agreed on by all the sanctioning bodies. But that's on paper. Really, in reality, Canelo's situation be so unique. If you face all the top guys in your division, right, you are undisputed. The belts, it's cool, but you are undisputed. You know what I'm saying? But because it's defined a certain way by the International Boxing Hall of Fame and they recognize you as undisputed that way, we don't say that. But really, technically speaking, Floyd was undisputed because he faced the top 2 guys who had all the belts. You see, they had won all the belts. They had been stripped, but they won all the belts. You understand what I'm saying? So, when we look at Floyd later on in his career, I'm trying to contrast Floyd with Canelo so you guys can see what it's a different situation. Later on in his career, again, he won back the WBC championship against Victor Ortiz. Then he won the WBA belt by beating Marcus Maidana. And then he won the WBO belt by beating Manny Pacquiao. Right? Now, he really won the WBL. He would have won the WBA belt by beating Shane Mosley. He would have won it by beating Shane Mosley. But Shane Mosley said, I ain't paying no fucking sanctioning fees. And Floyd said, I ain't paying no fucking sanctioning fees. So they said, fuck the WBA belt. It's really funny how these guys do things. They said, fuck the WBA belt. He could have had the WBA belt a long time ago. But anyway. He fought. And so they fought each other, right? The former WBA titleist, the number one welterweight in the world, Shane Mosley, faced Floyd Mayweather, okay? It is what it is. But going back to what we were saying, he faced Marcus McDonald, he faced Manny Pacquiao, and he faced Victor Ortiz. Those were the three belts: WBO, the WBA, and the WBC. He never had the IBF belt. He never fought Kell Brook. You got to fight all the guys in your given set era to be undisputed. You get what I'm saying? At the same time, you can't be talking about, oh, he had all these different belts at different times. That don't mean shit. Because he could have had different top guys in those divisions over time. You got to look at it at a snapshot in a particular space of time where you got the set of top guys. You can't be undisputed over, oh, he got all the belts over 10 years. No, that's fucking stupid. That you're not going to be undisputed then. You're undisputed among a set of top guys in a set time. That makes sense? It can't be undisputed. Oh, over 10-year period, I got all the belts, so I'm undisputed. No, that's not undisputed. Because you would have a different crop of top guys for each period of time. See, you're undisputed for a period of time. You're not undisputed for all time. You get it? You're undisputed saying, oh yeah, he definitely is the top guy. He beat all the top guys in this given set of time. You understand? That's how it works. So Floyd wasn't like Canelo. He wasn't like Canelo. Canelo has the opportunity to actually have had all the belts in this era, beating all the top guys in this era, to say he is undisputed at middleweight. There ain't nobody that could beat him at middleweight. He's undisputed. He beat all the top guys. He's the top dog. Now he has to hold down that top spot by defending against other guys who people feel potentially could beat him or are good contenders. But he is undisputed. Get what I'm saying? He got an opportunity, without a doubt, to be that. Because not only did he have the belts, and he was stripped of one, but he also beat the top guys. That's undisputed. You see, that's all it is. But people like to hold on to belts. So when Triple G took Canelo's belt from him, you could be undisputed, but you're not. There's a question mark on your name because you didn't face all the top guys. If a guy gets stripped of a belt, right? He gets stripped of a belt. You collect the belt. You got the belt, right? Now, if you get all the other belts, you got 4 belts, but you never faced that guy that was stripped, you can't be considered undisputed. Unless the guy, of course, is losing and he's on the downswing and whatever, then you can consider undisputed because he's not top tier anymore. But if he's top tier, you didn't face that guy. Therefore, you cannot claim you are undisputed just because you got all 4 belts and because the International Boxing Hall of Fame says if you got all 4 belts, you're undisputed. And that's where textbook fails. You got to face that guy that had that belt that was stripped to be considered undisputed. Because he's still good. And a question mark on you, could you beat that guy? Got it? So, undisputed is that kind of thing. Obviously, Floyd was undisputed when he faced Carlos Baldomir and Zab Judah. There was question marks after he beat Zab Judah because they say, hey, Carlos Baldomir beat Zab Judah. So he faced Carlos Baldomir and went by him facing Carlos Baldomir and Zab Judah. He was undisputed. But he never had all the belts to prove it. Get what I'm saying? He never had the WBA belt to prove that, to have the documented evidence. Canelo, even though they stripped him of the IBF belt, he got an IBF belt sitting down in his house as evidence that he's undisputed. Get what I'm saying? They can't take that back. Right? So he's got an IBF belt sitting down in there showing I had that belt. I was stripped of it. And I'll tell you who I beat to get that belt. That's another thing. You know, and we're going into this topic right here, and it's the last thing I'm going to do with Canelo. It's not enough to just be undisputed. It's who you beat to become undisputed. You see? And this is my thing. People talk about Terrence Crawford and they talk about Usyk. Right? They were undisputed. But it'll always come to question in my mind, who they beat to become undisputed? They beat some good fighters. But did they beat an all-time great or a Hall of Famer? Did they beat two Hall of Famers and disputably all-time greats to become undisputed? You get what I'm saying? Guys who people believed would beat them. Did they beat a top-tier contender and world champion, IBF world champion, to become undisputed? A man who knocked out Peter Quiller. A man who faced Triple G, and people argue beat Triple G. Did they face somebody like a Danny Jacobs to become undisputed? Let's go further. Did they beat a young, skilled WBO, three-time world champion, WBO, WBA, WBO, in two weight classes to become undisputed? A guy who they claimed was the best middleweight in the division skill-wise. See, that makes undisputed real. That makes undisputed real. Because not only are you facing, it would be a better undisputed than Bernard Hopkins undisputed. Because there's always an asterisk on Bernard Hopkins. Oh, you beat smaller guys coming up in weight. You beat Oscar De La Hoya. You made your name over Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. Them guys was 147 pounders. Then they became 154 pounders. They were so good. And then they came up to middleweight. It say more about them than it say about you. So yeah, you beat two Hall of Famers, two all-time greats. But then again, you know. But Canelo, he coming up in weight. And he faced a Miga Cotto. Miga Cotto was smaller than him. He started off at 140, went up to 154. So you could say that's a smaller guy. You know, 160 he fought. Miga Cotto was so great. He was able to go up to 160 and beat Sergey Martinez. But getting back to the point, all right, Miga Cotto, you could have an asterisk on that. But what about Triple G? A bigger, stronger guy. Dominant. Knockout artist. What are you going to say about that? He beat him. Y'all, come on now. That's incredible. Okay? Claimed to be pound for pound number one in the world. That's what y'all said. I didn't say it. Y'all said that. I don't believe that. But y'all believe that. All right? So after that, you face Danny Jacobs, skilled, bigger than you again. And you beat him. You beat him. You outboxed him. You outclassed him. Come on now. Come on now. You can argue that, not quantitatively, because Bernard Hopkins fought a lot of really good people at middleweight. But qualitatively becoming undisputed. Now, again, you can't take nothing away from Bernard Hopkins. His undisputed championship was crazy, too. But I'm just saying, I haven't really evaluated all the information. I said you could make a case. I didn't say he did. I said you could make a case that Canelo, if he faces Demetrius Andrade, has a better undisputed attainment championship, even though it's going to be unofficial, than Bernard Hopkins. You know, he's going to make history in so many different ways. Because he's going to be the first Mexican fighter to be undisputed, technically. It will be also the, Mexican fighter to face that kind of level of competition. You know, you look at Canelo's resume off the short space of time that he's been world champion. When from the time he became world champion to the point at which he is now, all right, which he became world champion somewhere in what was it, 2010, 2012 to now, 7 years. This motherfucker got a crazy resume for 7 years. 6 years, whatever it is, right? It's a crazy fucking resume, okay? So this motherfucker, you know, whether it's 7 or 8 years, I don't know, it's 8 years, 2011, whatever it was. It's a crazy resume. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy resume, all right? And he is not done. This motherfucker gonna go all the way up to 175, like I said to you guys. He gonna make some history. He gonna go down in the history books, all right? He's going to do it. All right. He might get his ass beat again, but he's going to do it because this motherfucker don't duck or dodge nobody. Unless I'm wrong. But I think that he's going to face Demetrius Andrade before this year is over. He's going to face Demetrius Andrade. I don't know exactly when, but he's going to face Demetrius Andrade. Okay? And if people are correct and he's getting better and better, which in my opinion is true, or at least he's showing us more about his game, I believe Canelo is going to do some really crazy shit. All right? And just because he got beaten by Floyd, which is great for Floyd, but because he beat by Floyd, y'all getting it tripping. This motherfucker is the goods. Okay? He's the goods. There are a bunch of other motherfuckers who are the goods. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, when it comes to Canelo, you know, he's the goods. I saw these things in Canelo game. I told y'all way back when y'all was talking about Triple G would destroy Canelo. I told you, Canelo, this dude know what to do with a jab. He knows how to neutralize a jab. I told y'all guys this a long time ago. I told you if Canelo faces Triple G, gonna beat him. I told y'all guys that. And this is boxing. This is not Rock'em Sock'em Robots. This is not Tough Man contest. This is not I'm gonna get you contest. And I don't get you. Alright? Just because you're moving forward don't mean shit. You gotta have effective aggression. Effective aggression. You can't be coming at a guy and you ain't hitting him with nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when I say hitting him with nothing, I'm talking about your power shots. You're not getting your power shots off. You're not even getting your jab off properly. Alright? You're trying to set up your shots, but you're not setting up shit. Y'all don't. Hey, this is boxing, man. This is simple boxing 101. All right, I've been consistent as much as I can across the board. Shout out to everybody who's listening to me right now. You can see y'all guys, a lot of you guys are listening, and then at a certain point in time, you guys are gone, it seems. I don't know what YouTube is doing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's an hour 21 minutes. Let's get this done because it's 9:30. I got to do other things with my day. So back to Pacman. So Max Kellerman makes a case that he's the greatest of all time, and he is pound for pound the best pound for pound boxer of all time. Then he reneges and he says, "Oh, but you know, Sugar Ray Robinson is the best pound for pound boxer of all time." Okay, whatever. All right. So, but he goes on to make his arguments. His arguments are. This guy came from flyweight all the way up to welterweight. And it's a remarkable accomplishment, even if he got beaten by Floyd Mayweather, to even be in the ring with a guy that good shows a lot about this guy's career. This has been Max Kellerman's argument for the longest while. He has said some inaccurate things about 8 division world champion and all that, but I let that slide. And now Max Kellerman says just the fact that he beat this in his prime, skilled, arguably one of the top welterweights in the division, again, just shows testimony to how good this guy is, and that he's the greatest. He can be classed as the greatest of all time. Like I said, I don't dispute his arguments. I mean, he's made a very solid case. I remember he made that case before, saying that Pacquiao was a better boxer than Floyd. Once he said better, I said no. You can say greater, but not better. And even at that time, I thought Floyd was greater than Pacquiao at that time. I think this Keith Thurman fight sort of just tipped him over and made him greater than Floyd. Just him taking the fight, as I said before, made him greater than Floyd. And then the fact that he won the fight, which I didn't think he was going to do, made him greater than Floyd in this era. Okay? Greater is not better. I will say that again. Greater is not better. Shout out to you guys, man. I'll see some of you guys in the comment section here. Pooh B Sis Strong, what's up with you, my ninja? With all the doping that's going on, you can't compare these fighters with past greats. Dude, they used to dope back then too. That's what you don't know. They doped all the time. Doping ain't something new. People doped all the time. Oh, so you need to know that. I mean, you just look at the 90s. The 90s was a doping era. You look back at the 80s. There was doping. Guys were caught doping in the 80s. So God knows how long they've been doping. All right? They've been doping, man. Jackson the Hopeful says, Pacquiao's head somehow got bigger when he went to super bantamweight. Ooh, you funny, man. You got jokes. What do you think? Pacquiao is a dude. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. All I'm going to say to you is this. All right. Yeah. Past greats use hardcore drugs as PEDs. Oh, of course. Of course. This is nothing new. All the greats did it. I don't know for Lennox Lewis, but Evander Holyfield did it. Mike Tyson, we suspect, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, it's been going on. Remember, PED use has been going on since the '60s. We've caught track and field athletes doing PED since the '60s. All right. So if it's in track and field, obviously it's been in boxing. Yeah, Ray Leonard and what's his name? Pernell Whitaker were on coke. Yeah. Yep. Cocaine. And it's alleged Amir Khan uses it too. That unnatural speed. Yeah. What PED we think Pacquiao is on is something like EPO. I think Pacquiao uses EPO. Something like EPO. Some kind of drug. And again, it may not be illegal, whatever Pacquiao is using, but it is a performance enhancer. That's the important thing. I'm not again. Let me make it abundantly clear. I'm not saying that they're using performance enhancers which are illegal. So you may be using a PED, but it's not illegal. It's not. It doesn't show up on the banned list of products. It may even be something natural that enhances your performance. Performance enhancing drugs don't necessarily. PEDs doesn't necessarily mean they're illegal. All right. But they are, you cannot just naturally be doing shit. No, fuck no. You're using something else. You're using something to enhance your performance, for sure. That's my point. Yeah, man, you guys. Now, back to what I was saying about Manny Pacquiao. Regardless of whether he was using performance enhancers or not, okay, regardless of whether Margocito was using, plastic hand wraps or not, we're just looking at the facts. We're not gonna speculate now. We're just gonna stay with the record, the facts, the fights, right? Right? Because we know what we know. We know that's wrong. We know these guys shouldn't be in the ring. We know that you're cheating. You have an unfair advantage if you're using an illegal or banned substance, right? So we're just going with the facts. We don't know. That's not fact. We're just speculating on that, right? So when you look at Manny Pacquiao, all right, Max Kellerman started going through, the fights that Pacquiao had. When he first debuted in the United States of America facing Lehu Ledwaba, classy, skilled South African boxer, how he just destroyed that dude was incredible. Let's not try and lie about that. All right, these are facts. Okay, it was not incredible. Not the part was incredible, but he destroyed the guy. He destroyed the guy. I mean, he broke him down. He beat him up. He bloodied him. And he got him out of there. All right? It's just what it is. Okay? It is what it is. That's a fact. Okay? And for me, my response to that was it was incredible. Say what you want. I felt it was incredible. I had never seen that before. To be honest with you. And everybody was talking about Lehu Ledwaba. Nobody knew about Pacquiao at the time. Right? They didn't know about him. And he came and he dominated him. And spoiled the show. Because it was all about Lehu Ledwaba. They did a feature on him and everything. And then Pacquiao came in and destroyed that. All right? It's what it is. Okay? Then, he had this fight with, what's the Dominican Republic guy's name? I forgot his name. It was nasty. Pacquiao was trying to tag him up, but the dude would not let him. He had to win, and he was using every single thing he knew. He was like Marcos Maidana in there. Elbow his ass. Put him. Hit him in the balls, right? Pacquiao got hit in the balls and stuff. It ended up being a technical draw because the fight was stopped from a cut from not an accidental, an intentional headbutt, right? Guy was fighting dirty, and it was all good. All right, so you got to draw. Dude was not laying down for nothing. He was like, fuck you. He used every veteran tactic in the book. Shout out to Goose and Gander. Rebranded now. Shout out to you, my brother. You look good, man. Goose and Gander. I hear you, man. Tommy Temper in the building. Shout out from Trinidad to London and Ireland at the same time. Shout out to you, my brother. Right, so, he dominated everybody else, man. He went on to beat Marco Antonio Barrero, lineal champion, the man of the division, just smoked out Kevin Kelly. You know what I'm saying? You know, Prince Nassim Hamed was just dwarfed by him. You know what I'm saying? He exposed Prince Nassim Hamed. You know what I'm saying? Turned around, faced Manny Pacquiao, and Pacquiao just beat the shit out of him. Okay? Beat the shit out of him. This is an all-time great, right? This is a Hall of Famer. He beat the shit out of that dude. Right? Went up, faced Juan Manuel Marquez, dropped him down 3 times, and Marquez comes back and outbox his ass and be like, no, motherfucker, I am not one of those other guys. Marquez, throughout his career with Pacquiao, they're about the same dimensions. Marquez, of course, obviously slower and everything. Marquez was Pacquiao's nemesis. That's what made Pacquiao great. Juan Manuel Marquez. Right? Come on now. Pacquiao was going through everybody till he faced Juan Manuel Marquez. And that created the greatest rivalry in Pacquiao's career. Every other rivalry, he dominated his opponent. Right? Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, even Timothy Bradley, he got the better of Timothy Bradley. But when it came to Juan Manuel Marquez, he met his match. God damn it, that's what makes people great. You got to have a great fight. Floyd never had a nemesis. He never had one. With Sugar Ray Robinson, he had Carmen Basilio. He had Gene Fullman. He had who else? Jake LaMotta, right? Multiple fights. Now, Jake LaMotta wasn't his nemesis. Jake LaMotta was his bitch. Let's be real, okay? So forget him. Carmen motherfucking Basilio, you know, it was only 2 fights, but Carmen motherfucking Basilio was his fucking nemesis, okay? He never fully beat Carmen Basilio. Both fights were close. And okay, let's be fair. Gene Fullman made Sugar Ray Robinson his bitch. Okay, he got Gene Fullman once, but really, then they had a draw. But in the 4th fight, Gene Fullman beat his ass twice, right? Comprehensively. You could argue the draw was Gene Fullman's own. Gene Fullman made him his bitch, right? Gene Fullman beat his ass. Okay, all right. He beat Jake LaMotta's ass. Okay, but at the end of the day, Carmen fucking Basilio. They never had a 3rd fight. They should have had one to decide. Carmen Basilio was his nemesis. And what's incredible is, like, you know, Carmen Basilio was like a Pacquiao. He came up from lower weight classes to fight him, right? So my point being that you have to, when we're talking about great now, we're talking great. We're not talking about best. We're talking about great. You know, great fights. Muhammad fucking Ali had Frazier. He had Joe Frazier. Right? Great fights. Never really had that advantage over Frazier. Right? And Pacquiao's nemesis was Juan Manuel Marquez. Never really fully had that advantage. Even when he got knocked out by Marquez and him never really had that full advantage. They always going tat for tat, tit for tit, toe for toe. Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. They make them great. They made each other great. Hold on a second. It wasn't just a great rivalry. It was a great fight. Because these guys matched up so well. You see what I'm saying? So that's what makes fighters great. All right? Because they get entertaining fights and they give you great fights. They give you excitement. You're looking for the next fight. God damn it. Let's see it. Right? So, you know, that's what we're talking about with Manny Pacquiao. That's why I said he's greater than Floyd. You see, it's not that Manny Pacquiao is a better boxer than Floyd. You know, when you talk about the best ever, Floyd is the best ever of this era, first of all. He the best. He the best. He made Marquez look like he was a joke. He made Pacquiao look like he was a joke, just like Marquez. He told you. He told you. He showed you. And you motherfuckers still didn't believe him. You didn't believe that Floyd would beat Pacquiao so easily. What did he do to Marquez? Same dimensions as Pacquiao. Same height as Pacquiao. They're all about the same size. Floyd, Marquez, and Pacquiao. They're all about the same size. So we're not going to talk about that. But same dimensions as Pacquiao. Same size as Pacquiao. Dominant like motherfucking Pacquiao. And yet you guys think Marquez was too small for Floyd. And somehow y'all feel Pacquiao would have destroyed Floyd. How? How? So he beats Pacquiao like how he beat Marquez, and you guys are looking around like, you know, y'all also shocked and, oh, it was the boringest fight of the century, blah, 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 blah. Come on. He showed you this back in 2009. That's why he faced Marquez. He showed you what would have happened. You know? He showed you. Anyways, we're going to go on because there's some fun things going on. So we're talking about Pacquiao. Yeah. So Max Kellerman talks about, you know, going through all those weight classes and not just facing, you know, great challenges, but facing all-time greats and all of that stuff. And he says the achievements of Pacquiao, some people feel are greater than the achievements of Floyd. But truth be told, they both fought 16 of the greatest fighters of the era. They both fought the same amount of fighters of the era. Okay, Floyd did it through 5 weight classes. Pacquiao did it through 8 weight classes. All right. And while that is impressive that he did it through more weight classes, really what we care about is the level of opposition. The level of opposition. You see, it always comes down to the level of opposition you're facing. And it's a great accomplishment to do it through 8 classes. In fact, Pacquiao is the only fighter I know of in history who has beaten world champions or guys who were the man, top tier guys in 8 weight classes. Okay, he the only guy I know. Or if you're talking about the original 4 weight classes, the original 8 weight classes, he got top tier guys, who were top tier guys in 4 of them. Guys who would have been the world champion. Or let's say this story. He beat champions, okay? I'm including on top of world champions, I'm including lineal champion in 4 of them. Yeah, in 4 of the original weight classes. Nobody else in history has done that. So Manny Pacquiao is that dude, okay? He made history like that. But at the same time, I gotta put a but in. But at the same time, when you look at the level of opposition Floyd has faced, and you look at the level of opposition Pacquiao has faced, I'll say this. I'll say that Floyd fought the better opposition than Pacquiao did. Let me explain what I mean. When Pacquiao beat Miguel Cotto, okay, Miguel Cotto had to fight at a catch weight, even though they didn't say it was a catch weight, of 145. He came in at 145. It was a catch weight somewhere in there. When he faced Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya, first of all, was not a world champion. 2, Oscar De La Hoya went in at a catch weight of 145. He definitely was weight drained throughout that fight. He had a lot of heart to face Pacquiao, but he could have died. And that's not Oscar De La Hoya's best weight. Oscar De La Hoya was a super welterweight. His best weight was 154. He had no business at being at 160. His best weight was 154. Okay? Floyd's best weight, as shown, is 147. Now, Floyd's really a 140 pounder, but he grew into 147, so he stayed at 147. He couldn't go back to 140. He can't make 140, right? So his best weight was 147. He went 1 weight class up and went to 154, did his thing, but he never stayed at 154. He came back down to 147. That was his best weight, right? So Pacquiao, when he faced Miguel Cotto, Cotto was compromised in terms of weight, and that unfortunately puts an asterisk all the time on Pacquiao's win against Cotto. Always does. All right, great win, but there's an asterisk on it. You can't say that for Keith Thurman. The only thing you can say is Keith Thurman was inactive, and quite frankly, I don't think that had much to do with this fight. I'll tell you why. Two reasons. One, when Keith Thurman got knocked down, he could have been active as much as he wanted to. He would never have seen that coming. All right. Two, the body punch. Keith Thurman reacted to that body punch the very same way as he did in the fight. Because we saw him when he was active in his prime get hit by Louis Collazo with that same body punch, and he did the very same thing. He reacted the very same way. So I just don't think that people talking about Keith Thurman not having enough, being active enough, would have made a difference. I don't think it would have made a difference on the outlook and the outcome of this fight anyway. I think Keith Thurman underestimated Manny Pacquiao, came in there thinking he knew who he was facing, and he got a severe dose of reality. Okay? And I think that's what it is. And unless Keith Thurman, because remember, the highlights of the whole fight was the knockdown and the body punch. The highlights of Mayweather versus Pacquiao, on the other hand, wasn't just Pacquiao getting Floyd into the corner and Pacquiao getting Floyd into the corner twice. Right? It was also Floyd landing that uppercut, Floyd hitting Pacquiao in the 11th round, beating his ass up in the 11th round, making him look stupid. Okay, if we're being real, all right. He had fun with Pacquiao in the last round. Also, he had some highlights in the first round where he landed those counter rights on him and lead rights on him. All right. So Floyd had his highlights against Pacquiao. You can't say that for Keith Thurman. What was his highlights? He caught him with one. Okay, there was one highlight. I think in the 10th or 11th round or 9th round where he hit him with an overhand right, rocked his ass, then started working on him in the corner. But they didn't really have a lot of highlights on Pacquiao. Anyways. Keeping it back to what we were saying. So Manny Pacquiao being the greatest. I don't really have a problem with Max Kellerman's arguments. I would say this though. Because he started class Manny Pacquiao in the category of, hold on a second, let me see what the guy's saying here. Jackson the Hopeful says, I also rewatched Billy Joe Saunders versus David Lemieux. Yeah, man. Billy Joe Saunders left Frank Warren. We got a lot of updates to catch you guys up with. He's left Frank Warren, and it seems as though he's signing with Eddie Hearn, which means it sets up for him to be able to face an opponent of Eddie Hearn. It could be Callum Smith. It could be Chris Eubank Jr. It could be, Chris Eubank Jr. We're talking that smack about Billy Joe Saunders right now, so it could be that they're trying to set up a rematch. We see that Floyd and Pacquiao still, we see the flame. We see Floyd just recently there make a statement again. He put up a picture of him versus Conor McGregor. So Floyd's trying to keep his name out there. I feel that Floyd and Pacquiao is actually trying to set up another rematch. And this would be unique because Floyd doesn't usually give rematches to people he's beaten by unanimous decision. When Floyd clearly beat, but because there's a question mark and people are talking about Pacquiao's arm and all this shit, I think Floyd's going to set up a rematch with Pacquiao. I think Floyd wanted to give Pacquiao a rematch the first time. Pacquiao just never really acknowledged Floyd, said he was running and all that shit. And so Floyd was like, fuck the rematch. I ain't giving you no fucking rematch. And don't be talking shit of me. Don't be talking shit about me and not giving me my credit I deserve. You're supposed to say he the better man. I came up short. And he did say that in the press fight conference. He did say that. But Pacquiao having his own brand, having his own company, and so on. I think they're gonna eventually make that rematch happen. I think they're gonna do it. I think they're working towards it. And all Pacquiao got to do is keep winning. He just got to keep getting that W, But I don't think he has a lot more fights left in him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he has. I don't think Floyd has much fights left in him either. So this gonna be it. After they done. I wish Pacquiao the best. I hope that he gets his career goes better. He has a lot of promise in many other areas. He hosts the IPL. He helps a lot of people in the Philippines. Plus, he's working in the Senate towards people. So he's trying to do a lot of good things. People like to say a lot of shit about Pacquiao, but this dude trying to do something good. Okay, and that's the important thing. And Pacquiao, I like the dude, man. I like the dude. He's a likable character. What can I say? So. Anyways, my point being that Manny Pacquiao, greater than Floyd, yeah, I think he's greater than Floyd. I gotta hand it to him. 40 years old, beat a young Keith Thurman, that's something that made history. I think that not many fighters could do that. In fact, even Bernard Hopkins, as great as he was, beating what's the kid's name? Um, beating whatever the guy's name is. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. At I think it was middleweight, or was it at light heavyweight? I can't remember. The kid that was knocking everybody out, and it was like a terror. I still think that Keith Thurman, the win against Keith Thurman, was so much better because the other guy, he wasn't quick, he wasn't fast, he wasn't unorthodox, he wasn't, he wasn't the unified champion of the world like that. Kelly Pavlik, I think I'm talking about. Kelly Pavlik he didn't have that reputation that Keith Thurman had. He just didn't, in my opinion. He was a power puncher, but he wasn't seen as a boxer. And I think that Keith Thurman was a boxer puncher. He was smart, he was clever, and all of that. And Pacquiao managed to beat him. He was coming back in the fight, but Pacquiao managed to beat him. It was a very competitive fight. So at the end of the day, that was an incredible fight. I mean, Pacquiao, 40 years old, looking for that kind of smoke. I don't pass it by him facing Errol Spence, the winner of Errol Spence or Sean Porter. I don't pass it by Manny Pacquiao. And because all that experience and all that skill he has, I think that he can find a way to win. I mean, it is still vintage Pacquiao, you see. The shot with the left hook to the body, right, the left to the body, right hook over the top. He's been doing that shot for the longest while. Just that he did it in this case in a much more unique way, how he got it put together. But, Manny Pacquiao, man. Manny Pacquiao's Manny Pacquiao, man. I fancy him against any one of them young scouts, but I do say he can't stay in the ring too much longer. I mean, that collective punishment he's taking is going to hurt him 10 years from now. And which comes back to the point that Joe Cortez and in Fair But Firm, if you guys haven't checked out Fair But Firm, you should check it out. Joe Cortez was talking about concerning, shout out for all the likes, by the way, people. Joe Cortez was talking about with the case of Kawanaki, okay, versus Areola. That stuff gonna burn you 10 years from now. You ain't gonna be talking straight and shit. You got to have defense. You gotta have defense in boxing. It's not just about having defense for a fight. It's defense for your life, man. Jackson Hopeful says, one person near Manny Pacquiao, Freddie Roach was saying the same thing. One person near Manny Pacquiao advised him to retire. Yeah, man, I know. I don't believe he will at all. No, he's not gonna retire right now. Not right now. I think he got, like I said, I think he at least has 2 fights in him. So if he can get, whether it's a rematch with Keith Thurman and then a fight with Errol Spence or Sean Porter or Terrence Crawford, all the big dogs in the division, to show that he is the man, or if it go be a fight with, one of them be a fight with Mayweather. I think they're trying to get that Mayweather Pacquiao rematch going. And if it does, it's going to be the biggest thing in boxing. I can guarantee you that. And Pacquiao looks so good that everybody's going to be thinking that he can beat Mayweather. So it's definitely going to be on. If Pacquiao can keep on winning, I don't care if he is a Danny Garcia or a Mikey Garcia. If he keeps on winning, definitely every step by the way, that Mayweather fight going to look more and more like a fight everybody going to want to see, because that's just the way it is. Pacquiao is that dynamic of a dude that he can get people convinced that he could beat Floyd Mayweather again. And that's going to be an easy paycheck for Floyd. He will cash in on that because he going to win. Oh, it's going to be so easy. y'all going to be like, Pacquiao going to be fighting unifications in 2050. His legacy is going to go that far. I don't think he's going to be there. He going to stop. He going to retire. He going to retire. He said he wants his farewell fight to be in the Philippines. So, Poopy Sister says, what happened to your subscriber? Came the dawn from your other channel? I'm not quite sure what you're saying, bro. I couldn't understand that. You may have to rewrite that, Poopy Sister. You may have to rewrite that. What happened to your subscriber? Came the down from your other channel? I'm not quite sure what you mean. What, my subscriber base has fallen on my other channel, or my subscriber base is lower than my other channel? It's always been lower for boxing. I'm actually getting more subscriptions now. Yeah. Because I'm more regular on. So there are more people subscribing to my channel. They watch my videos. They watch my feed. They respond. The thing about it is I got a lot of subscribers, but not all of them comment on my channel like most people. They don't really talk. They just listen to my stuff. And they vibe me. They're like, hey man, I subscribe to your channel, and then they listen to my stuff. They listen to my feed, but they don't really say nothing. Smart people generally talk less. Jackson the Hopeful. I think you mean a subscriber named Came the Dawn. Oh, who's Came the Dawn though? I don't know who Came the Dawn is. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know who that is. I know one of my subscribers was very sick, and I haven't heard from him since. So I don't know if he died. Yeah, you guys got me in the sullen point now. I don't like to talk about people dying and shit, but anyways. Yeah, so anyway, back to what I was saying. So Manny Pacquiao, yeah. So, but this is what I'm going to say, though. As I said before, I think Floyd faced the tougher competition in his career. I think that he faced tougher competition than Pacquiao did. Meaning, no, what I mean by that is better competition in terms of their health, in terms of the weight class they faced, that kind of stuff. So, for instance, he faced Oscar De La Hoya when Oscar De La Hoya was Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? You know, De La Hoya just knocked out Ricardo Mayorga, you know, because people thought he was done after that Bernard Hopkins fight, which was very competitive, by the way. He just got hit with a body shot, right? And he took 2 years off. Then he went back, faced Ricardo Mayorga, stopped his ass at 154. So he showed that he was a devastating 154 puncher. Came and faced Floyd Mayweather, and it was just a totally different story. He was confuffled for a lot. There was confusion in the fight. He tried to throw off his combinations. Didn't have no effect on Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? That was the Oscar De La Hoya. He was a WBA champion when he faced Floyd. WBA or WBC. I think it was WBA. I can't remember which one. Right? He was champion. All right? And people can say what they want. It was, you know, he was old and shit. Nah, that shit ain't got nothing to do with it. He wasn't old. Okay? When he faced Bernard Hopkins, was he old? That's what you saying? He was old when he faced Bernard Hopkins? That was 2 years before. Come on now. No, man. And he had been retired, so he got a chance to rest his body. So, no, he wasn't old. And clearly, from his fight with Ricardo Mayorga, he showed, you know, he wasn't done. All right? Ricardo Mayorga, you know, is a tough opponent for anybody. And he stopped him. He stopped him, okay? So, no, he wasn't. So, when he faced Floyd Mayweather, you know, which was a big fight, he wasn't old. You could say he was at the end of his career. That would be absolutely, in fact, you know, he was at the end of his career. You know, that would be accurate and factual. But he wasn't old. That much I could tell you. Jackson Hopeful says, Floyd beat better competition. Floyd beat better competition, not faced, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Okay. I said he faced better competition as well. Beat and faced better competition. Let me tell you what like, yeah, this is not hard for me to, well, okay, this is just my opinion. We can debate this, right? This is my opinion, okay? Pacquiao faced who that was better than Floyd's competition? The guys who beat Pacquiao, Eric Morales. Let's see. Who did Pacquiao? Antonio Margarito. He beat Antonio Margarito. Was Antonio Margarito better competition than Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya, and Miguel Cotto at 154? And remember, Floyd fought Cotto and Oscar at 154. Not 152, not 150, okay? 150 fucking 4. And Oscar get coming at whatever fucking weight he want to come in at. I mean, Miguel Cotto was a big 154. I mean, and Floyd fought at 154 3 times. Pacquiao only once at a catchweight. Right? All right, let's look at 147. Because again, you just think about what I'm saying. You know, you remember, Bobby Arum made it sound like Antonio Margarito was a better fighter than Oscar De La Hoya, than Carlos Baldomir. You know. Because remember, remember Floyd, Bobby Arum wanted Floyd to face Antonio Margarito next after Zab Judah. Floyd bought out his contract and faced Carlos Baldomir. And then Bobby Arum said, he's afraid to face Antonio Margarito. You know, Carlos Baldomir had a much more dominant, greater resume and had been winning more than Antonio Margarito. And then he faced Oscar De La Hoya instead of Antonio Margarito. All this time, Antonio Margarito was champion. Okay? And Antonio Margarito got his ass beat. And so Floyd faced Ricky Hatton by Paul Williams. Okay? Pacquiao never faced Paul Williams. So when you're thinking about Antonio Margarito, you know, was he a better opponent than Carlos Baldomir? Was he a better opponent than Oscar De La Hoya, who he sparred, by the way? And people said, you know, Oscar did a number on him. Okay? And that's what got him in shape for the Kermit Cintron fight. The second one. Okay? No, sorry. Yeah. Right? So my point being, if you say, Jackson the Hopeful, that Pacquiao faced better competition, please specifically speak about which competition you're talking about. You know? Is it Marco Antonio Barrera? Is it Eric Morales? Is it those the guys you're talking about? Because at the lower weight class, because that's the only other names I know of. Okay, Eric Morales and Antonio Barrera. Because Juan Manuel Marquez, Floyd faced Juan Manuel Marquez. Now you could argue Pacquiao and Marquez were the same size when they fought at featherweight and super featherweight for the championships, right? And they had great fights, and Marquez made Pacquiao because that rivalry is what made Pacquiao so great, right? But they also fought at welterweight. They fought at super featherweight, then they fought at featherweight and super featherweight, and then they fought at welterweight. Okay, Marquez fought at welterweight. That's what people forget. You're making it sound like, you know, Marquez, and then Marquez did the same thing Pacquiao did. Marquez said, I'm jumping up from lightweight, I'm going to fight the best welterweight in the world. Pacquiao said, I'm going to jump up from lightweight, I'll fight a guy who used to be the best welterweight in the world. Okay? So they did the same thing, just that they got different results. Pacquiao beat the shit out of Oscar, and Floyd outboxed and dominated Marquez. Right? Not Floyd's fault that he dominated Marquez. That's just what happened, right? So my point being, Pacquiao's names of really the fighters who you could say he faced, you know, which you would claim would be better opposition, comes down to Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. Right? That would be it. I don't think there's any other names I could think of, you know, right? Because like I said before, when you look at Miguel Cotto, Floyd faced Miguel Cotto. Yeah, Floyd beat Miguel Cotto. But then again, Floyd beat every single opponent he has faced. So what are you really saying? You know, but let's just go through it. Miguel Cotto, Floyd fought a better Miguel Cotto than Pacquiao faced. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. When you look at Oscar De La Hoya, again, Floyd fought a better Oscar De La Hoya than Pacquiao did. It's just what it is. It's just what it is, right? Shane Mosley, Floyd fought a better Shane Mosley than Manny Pacquiao did. It's just what it is. It's what it is. Am I lying? Okay, these opponents they share. Juan Manuel Marquez, you could argue that Pacquiao faced a better Marquez than Floyd did, but it would really be unfair and a lie. They basically faced the same Marquez because Marquez continued to dominate. He had just knocked out the lightweight champion of the world, Juan Diaz. Okay, Pacquiao had knocked out David Diaz, but David Diaz was not the man of the division. It was Juan motherfucking Diaz that was the man of the division. And Marquez took that from him. All right? Became the number one lightweight in the world. Pacquiao was not the number one lightweight in the world when he faced Oscar De La Hoya. Marquez was. That's why Marquez felt he could take on a Floyd Mayweather and beat him. Right? And Marquez has never ducked or dodged nobody. Okay? And remember, Marquez also beat Marco Antonio Barrera. Right? He beat him. Right? Not to mention how many other people Marquez has beaten. Okay, we don't want to talk about Marquez's resume. It's crazy too. Okay, he got beat by people too. He got robbed by people too. So it is what it is. But when you say Pacquiao faced better competition than Floyd, what are you actually saying? We're looking at the information. The only people I can think of is Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. All right? But then we got the equivalence with Floyd. Floyd got it all the way through. If you want to go to lower weight classes, Floyd would be at super featherweight, right? We're talking super featherweight here. Floyd fought Gennaro Hernandez and motherfucking Diego Corrales. Now, case closed. Diego Corrales was the number one motherfucking super featherweight in the world. And he was on the pound for pound list. Okay? Now unfortunately his career got cut short, so we can't really say we can't put him as a Hall of Fame status like Eric Morales or Marcos Antonio Barrera. But god damn it, man, fucking Eric Morales, fucking Diego Corrales, man. You see what I'm saying? Diego fucking Corrales, all right? Donaire Hernandez, Jose Luis motherfucking Castillo. That's all I gotta say. All right, those are the giants of the division. It was Diego Corrales and fucking Jose Luis Castillo. Dominant motherfuckers. All right? Now, Barrera and Eric Morales were good. They were cool. But I'm going to tell you this. If Marco Antonio Barrera faced Jose Luis Castillo, we would not be talking about Marco Antonio Barrera right now. I'm just saying. That motherfucker had power, and that motherfucker knew how to hunt your ass down. And he could box. And Diego motherfucking Corrales was 6 feet tall. Had power in both motherfucking hands. And I like Eric Morales. And I like Marco Antonio Barrera. They came after. But I'm going to tell you that. Straight up G killers. You're talking about Castillo and and Diego Corrales. They're straight up G killers. I would love to have seen those fucking matchups. They was dogs. All right, and we know what happened with the Castillo Corrales rivalry. All right, it was good ass rivalry. Okay, epic, right? Even in fights where Diego Corrales' ass was getting destroyed by Castillo, turn around and knock the motherfucker out. I remember Joe Goosen saying to him, "Oh, now you gotta get an inside on his ass." And that motherfucker went to work. After he pulled out his mouthpiece, get penalized for his mouthpiece, got dropped 3 fucking times. Turn around and knock the motherfucker out. Epic. Okay? I'm just saying. So even in the lower weight classes, I'm just saying, because your basic, the only guys I could think of that you're talking about that Pacquiao faced, that Floyd didn't face, of course there's a Keith Thurman as well, is these guys, right? These got to be the guys you're talking about. But then again, Floyd faced Marcos motherfucking Maidana. You got to say something about that. I mean, Maidana's retired. He's done with boxing, kind of like. He may come back. I hope he does, because I want to see how his career evolves and continues, right? Maidana was in his peak. He was in his fucking prime, man. And let's be real. Keith Thurman's good. But didn't you want to see Keith Thurman versus Marcos Maidana? Come on now. Who didn't want to see Keith Thurman versus Marcos Maidana? I salivate thinking about that. That would have been a good ass fight. Good ass fight. I mean, I think he would have handled Maidana. That was very awkward. I think he would have handled Maidana. Might have gotten the win. Maidana can fucking hit. He ain't no Sean Porter when it comes to hitting power. So that would have been a good ass fight too. That'd been a good ass fight. That is an interesting fight. You know, people talk about Eric Morales handled Maidana and they argue he beat. No. If y'all do remember, Eric Morales got a big old fucking tennis golf ball on his eye from Maidana. He fought through it, but come on now. Anyway, Eric Morales was a bad motherfucker too. So don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying, if you just look at the lower weight classes with Floyd faced, yeah, they not sure ballot Hall of Famers. Donaire Hernandez is in the World Boxing Hall of Fame, but like Diego Corrales is not in the Boxing Hall of Fame, sadly. But you know, that motherfucker did some shit at super featherweight and lightweight. And anybody who says no, I mean, he fought all the bad boys, all of them. Okay, there's this notion that Pacquiao fought everyone and Floyd didn't, but it's not true. It's not true. So who are you talking about? Antonio Margarita, Joshua Clottey? These are the guys that Floyd didn't face. That Pacquiao faced. Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. Who else has been? Timothy Bradley. These are the guys you're talking about? Adrian Broner. We're going there. Jesse Vargas. Come on now. Talk to me. Other than Keith Thurman, Them other guys, I mean, they're not, you know, you know, you can't. I mean, Keith Thurman, yeah, Keith Thurman, yeah. But you know, the other guys, we don't really, we don't esteem them too highly. You know what I'm saying? But with Floyd, you got Marcus Maidana. With Floyd, we got Canelo Alvarez. Remember, Pacquiao didn't face Canelo Alvarez. So we got Marcus Maidana, fucking Canelo Alvarez. All right, Victor Ortiz, yeah. Let's leave him out of the picture. All right, right. That's what Floyd got. He got them too. That's big. Them too big. What would happen if Marcos Maidana faced Manny Pacquiao? We don't know. We don't know. What would happen if Canelo faced Manny Pacquiao? You give Pacquiao a chance? I'm just saying. So you say Pacquiao faced the better competition. Really, is that really true? They actually faced the same when I did my comparison. They faced the same number of top tier guys. The same number. But Mayweather faced the better of that number. That's the truth. Obviously, he beat them, so there's nothing you can do about it. But I think he. What's your argument for that? Let me hear what you got to say. Let's have a discussion. I mean, the quantity of guys Manny Pacquiao faced outweighs Floyd's. Yeah. When it comes to, I agree with that. He faced he faced good to top, good to, you know, extremely good competition. He straight more. That's not true either, to be honest with you. Like I said, they face the same number. You go and you add it up, they face the same number. I'm trying to tell you. He didn't face more. He just matched up with Floyd. I did it. I actually, because he had a lot of rematches. So because he had a lot of rematches, he didn't really face the number of opponents that Floyd had. So he's actually faced now the same number. When you count them all up, he's got the same number of opponents now as Floyd has had, who are good to very good to excellent to Hall of Famer and that kind of thing. Yeah, he got the same number. He got more Hall of Famers though, at present. Because you can't count Canelo as a Hall of Famer right now. Yeah. Jackson the Hopeful. Marcos Maidana hitting you is like you dipping your head into a road. I let her. Oh shit. And then a car hit your head at 55 miles an hour. I'm saying, dude. Jackson the Hopeful. One guy that Manny didn't face was Edwin Valero. Yeah, man. That would have been a hell of a fight. That'd have been a hell of a fight. Edwin Valero was a hell of a... And he was quick, too. He used to put his punches together. That would have been a hell of a fight. Yeah. That would have been a hell of a fight. Edwin Valero. Yeah. Again, it don't affect his legacy or anything. I mean, but that would have been a hell of a fight at lightweight. Shit. Yeah, he could box. That dude could box his socks off. He could really box. He's quick too. Hell of a fighter. Oh yeah, for sure. He was a hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. You know. Again, his career just ended too early, man. Just too early. It was too vicious. That's the thing about a lot of boxers are just, they're crazy, man. They're crazy motherfuckers. You know, they come from backgrounds where they be abusing women and raping motherfuckers and committing crimes, and they be in gangs and all kinds of shit be going down. They even murder people. Some boxers have murdered people. Sonny Liston is known as a guy who murdered people and shit. You know, that's where the boxers' mentality come from. That's where they come from. That's why they're so vicious and shit in the ring. You know, and that's why people need to take care of the boxers and make sure they're okay, man. Because, you know, these guys, man, you know, I was thinking of the last undisputed middleweight champion of the world, how he was shooting up a house or some shit like that. He lost his shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. You know, they crazy. I was listening to Deontay Wilder commenting uh, on the Marcus Brown versus John Pascal. John Pascal knocks down Marcus Brown the second time. You hear Deontay Wilder break out in a wild, raucous laugh. He's like, he went nuts. If you hear how he laughed, it was so hilarious. You know, you can tell he liked it, you know. And then he was like, this is what boxing's all about. And I'm like, God damn. The violence. And he really enjoyed that shit. And I was like, wow, that's the mentality of these boxers, man. They crazy as hell. You gotta be crazy to be punched in the face. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do it because I can't talk on something I've not really fully experienced. I had to talk on some of my experience, you know. So that's how I feel about it. And my mentality is a little bit different too, you know. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So Manny Pacquiao, no, I don't think he faced better opposition. I don't think he beat better opposition than Floyd, quite frankly. But I would say that what makes him, I think, greater than Floyd is the rivalries. That's just my opinion. Again, you make some good points, by the way. Good points, Jackson the Hopeful. Good points. Jackson the Hopeful. John Pascal fought for the prevention of domestic abuse. Yeah, by abusing the other guy. Yeah. We don't even know Jean Pascal been in domestic abuse. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a guy that might do something like that. Hey, talking about that. This is a side note, but John Pascal, at the end of the fight, he was saying, 50, I owe you some money. I got your money, boy. And then they follow it up with 50 Cent responding like, John Pascal, I didn't know if you was going to bring that money, man. But all right, I'm going to come and collect that money. Then you see John Pascal in 50 Cent's office with the money and everything, sitting down. And then he says to 50 Cent, man, where you at, 50? I got your money for you, Where you at? Then he turns around and he says, but you gave me this thing as a gift. Why am I paying you back? Man, fuck you, man. he takes the drinks, put it inside the money, and walks out of 50's office. I thought it was so fucking funny. I think it's a way to put 50 back in the spotlight. And they're gonna have a little arguing dispute or whatever, maybe even have a boxing match. But I found that was really funny and creative and kind of WWE-ish. I don't know if it's for real. I hope he's not fucking with 50 for real like that, because 50 don't get down like that. 50 will get him back. But if not, I think it's very interesting how he brings up 50's name, and then after that, he makes 50 relevant. I find that a lot of fun. Even though he's punking 50, I'm sure there's going to be a 50 going to come back with something. And so you're going to have this back and forth. And I think that's good for boxing because it's very entertaining. And so, like I said, we get all this drama in boxing now. We get this drama with Dillian White. We get the drama with Canelo. We get the drama with 50 and Pascal. That leads me to the other point I want to make, which is now Inue is going to be facing my boy Nonito Donaire come November the what the date? November the 17th, was it? Or was it what was it, the 4th? I can't remember, man. I think it's the 4th or the 7th or something like that. But in November they're gonna actually face off against one another. Nonito Donaire and Richard Schaefer was wondering when they were gonna have this when they were gonna have the scheduled fight, and now they got a date. So great. Now Inue versus Nonito Donaire. Do not rule out Donaire from winning this fight. He has been a sneaky veteran throughout this whole boxing match. He's beaten people who are put in front of him. This is his best weight class, bantamweight, I think it is. So expect Nonito Donaire to represent the Philippines in that fight. And I think this is going to be Inue's toughest fight to date. He did go the distance with one guy, I think. But this is going to be his toughest fight to date. And Inue said he really patented his fight style off of Nonito Donaire. So it's really interesting how this Donaire versus Inue fight is. Don't rule out the old guy. He old, yeah. We favor Inue to win, but still, this could be a tricky. Them old veterans, man. They got all these little tricks up their sleeve. You saw what Pascal did to Marcus Brown. You saw what Pacquiao did to Keith Thurman. Don't rule out them old guys now. Them old guys can still do some things once they got the athleticism. So what will really make a difference here? Even this upcoming fight with Ortiz and Orozco, don't rule out Orozco. You know what I'm saying? Don't rule him out. He got a lot of experience. So, I'm just saying. Now, of course, I go with Ortiz because I'm just looking at how he's training and everything. But like I said before, don't rule out Orozco. You know what I'm saying? That's coming up this weekend. For those of you who wanted to see the fights this weekend. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, so very entertaining performance by Pascal, by the way. But I was just saying, boxers are so wild and crazy, man. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. So Manny Pacquiao, greatest of all time. You can make an argument for that. Let me tell you what. I told you the rivalries is one thing. Then, of course, going through all those weight classes is another thing. All right, he made history by beating champions in 4 weight classes. They weren't world champions, but they were champions. Either they're linear champions or they were world champions. But in 4 weight classes, 4 of the original 8 weight classes. I mean, he took out 4 of the original 8. Okay, and he wasn't beating bums. He was beating dudes. Some of them are Hall of Famers. Marco Antonio Barrera. He faced Ricky Hatton, was dominant in super lightweight, beat his ass. He faced at lightweight. He faced David Diaz. Wasn't the best, but he was one of the best. Okay, so that's a little weak one. And he also faced Mark. Let's see, it was lightweight, featherweight. At featherweight, Marco Antonio Barrera, right? At flyweight, Chai Sasuke was the man in flyweight. So he beat Chai Sasuke, who was the man in flyweight. He beat Marco Antonio Barrera, who was the man at featherweight. He beat David Diaz. Okay, David Diaz was, David Diaz all right. He's one of the top guys. You know what I'm saying? One of the top guys. All right. And then, of course, it depends which one you want to call it. Keith Thurman or you want to call it Niga Cotto. Whichever one you want to call it. Cotto's a Hall of Famer. Keith Thurman, definitely. One of the top 3 welterweights in the welterweight division. All right. It is what it is. All right. So that's 4 weight classes, or the original weight classes. Whichever one you want to take. Niga Cotto, Keith Thurman, I don't give a fuck. You got it. All right. And Niga Cotto was not the top welterweight at the time he beat him. But he once was. Before Antonio Barrera, cheating ass Antonio Barrera beat him. And since we don't really count cheating ass Antonio Barrera's win, Antonio Margarito's win, because he was cheating, you could discount it and then to say, man, Niga Cotto didn't get beat by it. It was a cheat. Then you can turn around and say Pacquiao beat like the number 1. You can always argue things like this is disputable. So you can say, no, Niga Cotto really was the number 1 welterweight in the world because you know what? Margarito was cheating. You know what I'm saying? You look at it that way too. It depends on how you look at it, right? But anyway, my point being that my point being that Manny Pacquiao, beat the champions, or one of the champions, one of the top tier guys in 4 of the original weight classes. Nobody else did that. All right. You could argue maybe that David Diaz wouldn't have been the champion if there was like 2 belts. He wouldn't have been, but David Diaz was holding the WBC belt. So, I'm just saying. Juan Diaz was holding the IBF, I think it was. All right. I'm just saying. Going back to the other point that makes him, you can argue the case for the greatest. You can argue the case that, Manny Pacquiao has fought more Hall of Famers right now than Floyd Mayweather has fought. So he's, greatest of this era, greatest of all time. That's he's mentioned. Of course we talk about Muhammad Ali being the greatest of all time, the GOAT and whatever, because he said he was. A lot of people like to mention Sugar Ray Robinson, pound for pound the greatest. And let me say this: they gave Sugar Ray Robinson that title, pound for pound, the best. Muhammad Ali called himself the greatest. So it's kind of hard to go against them guys just because people established the label. They kind of inspired the label. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what, it's kind of hard to go against them. It's like the Ghetto Wizard. They called him pound for pound the greatest as well. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to go against the guys that inspired the title. It's hard. And that kind of stays with them because the label is established by them. But if you're really talking pound for pound, Pacquiao literally makes a case for himself because he literally, pound for pound, was great in a multiple weight classes. He makes that case. Look, man, if I was to go up to heavyweight, I'll beat a heavyweight because, look at what I did at flyweight. Look what I did at featherweight. Look what I did at lightweight. Look what I did at welterweight. These are the original weight classes. Just so you guys understand, he did more than Henry Armstrong did. That's what the fuck he did. So when it comes to pound for pound, Pacquiao makes the case, I am the pound for pound king of all time. Look what I've done in these weight classes. I beat the best in each weight class. That's what he's basically making a claim for. So, I mean, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? He makes his case. Right? Floyd makes the case that he is the best. The best ever. He makes his case. Because you put him in front of him, he beat him. You put whatever style, dimension, height, strength, power, he beat him. Including Pacquiao. So he makes his case for the best ever. Pacquiao makes his case for pound. Easy. Easy. Watch me. I went through this weight class, I beat the motherfucker that was the man. I went through this weight class, I beat the motherfucker who was the man. I went through this weight class, okay, he wasn't the man, but he was in the top tier. He was in the top 3. I went through this weight class, okay, he wasn't a man, but he went in the top 3. He was a world champion. I beat him at 40. Shit. Very few fighters, in their late 30s to their mid 40s have beaten in their prime world champions in a weight class which is not even their weight class. Very few. And Pacquiao is the first welterweight to beat a welterweight champion in his prime who was considered the best welterweight in the world at one point to beat him. He's the first welterweight at the age of 40 to do that. Period. So he's made history that way as well. So he's made history a number of different ways, Manny Pacquiao. And so if you say he's the greatest of this era, you're not wrong. If you say he's the greatest of all time, there's a case for that. If you say he's pound for pound the best fighter ever, there's a case for that. There really is. And I literally show you, look, not just the 8 weight classes, the 4 original weight classes. This motherfucker was murking people. You have to be, you gotta give it to him, And when you say greatest, because the greatest, now he cannot say he's the greatest of all time. And people cannot call him that because Muhammad Ali's already called that. You can't call him pound for pound the best fighter of all time, because guess what? Sugar Ray Robinson and the Ghetto Wizard, they've been called that already. So you can't give him those titles. They already taken. That's why I said you got to give him a title that is unique to Manny Pacquiao. Right? Floyd Mayweather never called himself the greatest. You know what? It already taken. Muhammad Ali is the greatest. It's done. It's done. Muhammad Ali already got that title. Can't take it. We already got dubbed Sugar Ray Robinson pound for pound #1 of all time. He's already dubbed. That's his title. Can't take it from him. See, you got to come with something creative and new. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. So Pacquiao will never be the greatest. Muhammad Ali already got that title. That's already patented and shit. So, sorry. You can't have that. He will never be called the best ever. Floyd got that. He trademarked that shit. It's done. Branded and everything. He can never call himself pound for pound the greatest fighter ever. Sugar Ray Robinson got that and Get a Wizard. Can't take that. That's already taken. So he had to find something else to brand himself. But quite frankly, he should brand himself because he deserved to be branded. And yeah, there are a lot of great, lightweights and great featherweights out there. And they've been great, welterweights out there. Henry Armstrong's one of the greatest welterweights of all time. He's got the greatest welterweight record and all that shit. But at the end of the day, pound for pound, nobody touches Manny Pacquiao. He got it. When it comes to pound for pound, he literally went through 4 of the original weight classes, winning against champions. I'm just saying. There was guys who did more, went through more weight classes than Pacquiao. Uh, Original weight classes. You know, you have a number of them, but not win against the top tier guys in each fucking weight class. Yeah, and so that's where, and again, not no fault of theirs. They would have wanted to have that, but they just never had the opportunity to. So Pacquiao's out achieved those guys. Um, he's better than Roberto Duran. Duran went from lightweight to super middleweight. Hell of a fucking crazy, right? He had lightweight, he had welterweight, and if I'm not mistaken, that's all he won. He never won a middleweight title. He never won a light heavyweight title. You know, he never did. I mean, official title. But even so, did he fight the number one middleweight in the world? Nope. Did he fight the number one welterweight in the world? Fuck yeah. Did he fight the number one lightweight in the world? Yes. Right? But Pacquiao greater than Duran in terms of that accomplishment as well. I mean, you just look at what Pacquiao done. You have to give him you got to give him what you have to give him. Now, what I say is though, that let's see how his career is not over. So we need to see what will happen. Now, did Floyd beat him? Fuck yes. Is Floyd better than him? Yes, in every single aspect and way. But is Floyd greater than him? No, he's not. It's just what it is. And that's because, again, like I said before, Pacquiao had the rivalries, the drama in his career when he got knocked out and he came back, greatest comeback ever. You know, the fact that, man, Pacquiao outside of the ring, you have to factor, when you talk about the greatest, you have to factor outside of the ring as well as inside the ring. And, you know, the things that he's doing for his community, the things he's doing for the Philippines, the inspiration he's giving to people, you know, the exciting fights that he always put on, you know, the dominant way how he would win at times, you know, just you know, what makes Pacquiao great. And even to this day, he has a huge following with anything he does. It's all of those things you have to factor in, you know. You know, Muhammad Ali was called the greatest because all around he was the greatest boxer ever. There ain't never gonna be nobody like Muhammad Ali. What he brought to the game, what he brought to the sport, what he brought to people's minds, how he challenged people's minds to think differently. You know, Muhammad Ali did a lot, not just for the sport of boxing, but just all around. And Pacquiao is kind of the same kind of guy. And I just think Ali dwarfs Pacquiao in respect to how Ali just challenged the game, brought new elements to the game of boxing, and brought new elements to the world. He enlightened people and stuff like that. You know, so that's what made Muhammad Ali great. And I think because, again, he was the first to kind of do these things, he would always be considered the greatest. You know, same thing with Sugar Ray Robinson and the Ghetto Wizard. They kind of challenge people in terms of, you can not just looking at the heavyweights now as the be all and end all. Here are some guys that challenge you to make you want to have to bring up a title for them so that people would know, you know, because they didn't ever challenge a heavyweight. So they had to come up with pound for pound. And that's how pound for pound came up. They inspired pound for pound. So that's why they considered, to this day, you know, pound for pound, the greatest ever. Because they kind of originated that thing. They originated that thing. You got it? It doesn't necessarily mean that pound for pound, they are the greatest. No. But it's just what it is. Right? And that's just the way how things go. Floyd, you know, the best ever been thrown around for a little while since Mike Tyson and, you know, the 80s and stuff. Alan Starling, but Floyd took it and said, okay, I am the best ever. You know, boxers were saying they were the greatest even before Muhammad Ali. They couldn't back their shit up, you know, and then Muhammad Ali came and backed his shit up. So, yeah, man. The time now is 10 something. I haven't eaten yet, so I got to go eat. But before I do, some other topics. So we see that Gervonta Davis, he's talking at Tevin Farmer talked his talk to Gervonta Davis, and then Gervonta Davis responded. So definitely we're gonna have a Tevin Farmer Gervonta Davis matchup at very, very soon. Um, I do believe they're not going to face each other next. There are some opponents lined up for them. I hear Tevin Farmer talking about JoJo Diaz, and he trying to get that fight sparked up with JoJo Diaz. And it looks like Yurikis Gambo is lined up for Gervonta Davis. So I think they're going to take them fights next. How they perform in those fights will spark off their matchup. And I don't know if Tevin Farmer will still be with the zone if he's going to resign. If he's going to resign with the zone, but at least for one fight on Showtime, I think they're going to have a pay-per-view. They're going to spark off a pay-per-view. Gervonta Davis versus Tevin Farmer. Gervonta Davis is hot. He is the name in boxing. You know, when everybody calling out your name, you know you hot. And Gervonta Davis is a very hot name in boxing. As I said to people before, if Gervonta Davis faces Vasily Lomachenko, he's going to beat him. Because a lot of people see Gervonta Davis only as a power puncher and a very sharp puncher, but he's a very, very good boxer. There's a lot of things he does to his boxing game. People say he can't judge distances properly. I disagree. I also believe that Gervonta Davis not only can judge distance properly, but he got very good footwork on par with what Floyd Mayweather Jr. used to have. He's just a lot stronger, bigger. You look, his neck is thicker. He's more compact. But I think he got all the skills that Floyd had in his day, and I think that he's going to put it on display. I think Gervonta is not looking to knock out people. I think he's looking to box them, but he's very sharp. He cuts some beautiful angles, and even though he does trademark shots, he can do other creative things to get at you. And I think a lot of people are underestimating the boxing acumen and skill. And then what I heard him saying in his build-up fight to facing Nunes was he said that, you know, he's not going to depend only on his power, and that, you know, he's working to sharpen up his boxing skills. He's not going to just let that down, which is very good to hear from him. So any day, anytime he faces Lomachenko can get a rude neck waking. I think he's going to drop Lomachenko multiple times. Then he's going to get him out of there. He's going to stop Lomachenko. And you know what's the weirdest thing? Saying that, because usually when you think of a puncher with guys with power and shit, I don't usually predict that a puncher will stop a boxer. But it's one puncher who he can box his socks off. I think if Gervonta Davis first faces Vasily Lomachenko, not only will he figure him out, he gonna catch him. And once he catches him, he gonna catch him a couple times. Lomachenko's a strong, sturdy guy. I look at him, very strong and sturdy, but he's been dropped before. And that tells me you can reach him. And if you can reach him, you can stop him. And I think Gervonta would stop him. You know? Because he's not Gary Russell Jr. A lot of people, you know, Gary Russell Jr., I ain't going to say much about Gary Russell Jr. I'm going to leave him alone. But Gervonta is a different breed of fighter. Again, you just have to look at how the fighter boxes. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, yeah, while other people are cautious about talking about Lomachenko versus Gervonta would run through Lomachenko. He'd get him out of there in 8 to 9 rounds. Yeah. Lomachenko will get knocked out by Gervonta. Guaranteed. Tevin Farmer, I'm looking forward to that fight because Tevin Farmer, they fancy him. They say he's Pernell Whitaker. They say he got the defense. We're going to see. We're going to see when he faces Gervonta. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to the Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta Davis fight. You know what I think would happen. You know, Errol Spence talked about man down, but he didn't man down Mikey Garcia. The real man down, dude, who Gervonta Davis said Errol Spence stole it from him, is Gervonta Davis. And he's proven it time and time again. And, well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta Davis. We gotta get that fight made first before I say anything else. I know Lomachenko, he been calling out Gervonta Davis' name. But we want to see Gervonta Davis versus Tevin Farmer. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm looking forward to that fight when it happens. And it will happen. And it will be pay-per-view. So, looking forward to that. The other, I already talked about Nonito Donaire and Inue. And that's going to be a good fight, too. What else have we not talked about? Any other topics you guys might want to talk about in boxing before I move on? Yeah, Manny Pacquiao, Jackson the Hopeful said, I mean, the quantity of guys Manny faced outweighed Floyd's. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In terms of volume, yeah, you're right, Jackson the Hopeful. He fought more fighters, volume wise. Yeah, guys. I don't think I had any other topics to talk about. I think that's about it. So yeah, peace to you guys. I'm out of here. It's almost minutes to 11. I'm gonna catch you guys later at another time. Till then, peace. We out.